What's up, everybody? Welcome to the sixth episode. Before I introduce our guest, I'm very disappointed. Nobody is subscribing the channel. If you watch this now, subscribe the channel, give us a like, and comment below who you guys want to see us next. People don't subscribe, man.
It's fucked up.
It's
You
not
gotta do
that
the call
hard.
to action.
It's not that hard. Just
Yeah.
press subscribe.
because
Yeah.
people just want to watch.
It's
Yeah.
like
They
people
don't
who
think
look at your
about it.
stories, like you see them looking at your story, you see them looking at your post that shows you, but then they don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, dude.
To be honest, I'm one of those people though.
No,
Like,
you
I'll
look
be
at
on
the, like-
Instagram. I'll always watch people's content because it'll pop up for
Yeah.
me, but I always forget to hit the follow button.
Yeah, but that's not the
Ah.
same.
You
If
know.
you watch a YouTube channel so often, you should give a subscribe.
True.
I
But
feel-
maybe they're watching the content, but it just pops up on their home feed, so they don't even
Yeah.
notice that they're not subscribed. So they should subscribe though.
So we have Kenny KO. Like, I love this. The reason why I love this podcast is all the people I was following and watching the last couple of years, 5, 6 years, they are now on the podcast and I can talk to them. So it's nice to have you. Thank you for taking time.
Yeah.
This is going to be very interesting podcast, like very interesting, because we all are people. We have no filter.
open book. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's off limits.
Yeah, let's start very clean. Like, why did you started lifting weights before we go deeper in other stuff?
Well, so I was heavy into meth, and that now I'm. So my sports background, I was just always a competitive person, and that was strength and conditioning coach got me into actually lifting weights. And I remember I hated it at first because I was so fucking weak. I could hardly bench the bar at first. It was embarrassing as hell, you know. And then you have the seniors and everyone that are actually like putting up pretty impressive numbers. And then through working out, just started to actually be around more people that were in bodybuilding, got into competing, men's physique, because I never was big enough for classic, wasn't even around at that time. And then men's
You're
open.
very tall.
Yeah, and I'm a taller
Yeah,
guy
you're
as
very
well.
tall.
So yeah, just kind of fall in love with the aspect of the aesthetics of bodybuilding and building a better physique over time. And, you know, obviously the confidence that comes along with working out on a
The
regular
girls.
schedule. Yeah, and then of course, well, that's what we all think.
Yeah.
But realistically, everyone knows who's
The
been working
dudes.
out for a while. You just get more dudes.
You get hella
attention
dudes. You
the
get
more you
all
work
the
out.
fucking dudes, bro.
It's the saddest thing. Like, literally, we go out for partying, and like I wear stuff that shows my muscle. You feel confident. You go to a club. The only people who talk to you in the restroom, weird ass people like, bro, you're lifting weights and trying to touch you. Like, it's
With the
never
guys
happened in my
coming
whole
up
life that a girl
complimenting you.
came to me in the club and said, "Man, you look good." Like, that never happened.
Well, I think nowadays though, man, I'm noticing a big shift because I feel like back in the day I didn't get as much love for being jacked, but these days, like since it's so popular, that people just fuck with it, and I feel like, especially the chicks, I feel like you see more white girls with butts now than ever.
Yeah,
It's
that's
Like
true.
BBLs, or you're talking like
No,
actually
it's like
built?
actual
Actual
butts.
butts.
You see like white chicks with.
Because you see
ass.
more BBLs.
You
too.
see a lot of BBLs too.
You
yeah.
see a lot in
You
Vegas
see a lot,
too.
Natty or not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No, you see a lot. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like being jacked means more than ever almost.
But
Not
that's
that it's
great,
everything.
man. That's great. Like, I
I also
like
feel
it.
like the standard's been raised, you know, versus 10 years ago, there's a lot more fit people now just because of what's accessible and the information. Everyone's usually on some type of compound or something to help them achieve their fitness goals.
Yeah.
Competing's a lot more popular now, I think, with all the female divisions as well. So,
I feel also they tolerate more muscles. Like, when I was young, I was watching Rocky. Rocky, he would be in a shirt, skinny now. Nobody would say, "Hey, this guy is jacked." Now people tolerate bigger guys. Do you not think the same? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like
Sure.
almost like when I started, I thought Rocky is huge, and now I'm twice as like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Now I'm twice as size. It's like you want more, and I feel like it's more in the industry. They accept it more to be big or jacked.
like, do you remember that old Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire when he took his shirt off? And everyone, I remember
That
myself.
used to piss me off so much though. When
Did
in
it?
movie theaters,
Okay,
when girls
so-
were like going nuts about guys'
Yeah.
bodies, I'm like, this guy just barely.
I remember I
is.
saw
I
it,
get
though.
So offended.
But I
Photoshop.
was so young at that time. I thought that was like a really built,
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
physique,
Yeah, when you're
you
young,
know.
for
But
sure.
now you look like, if I was to look at that now,
That's
it
what
looks
I'm
like a guy
saying.
that's never lifted a
Yeah,
weight
just
in his
like a regular
life,
dude.
right?
Like a guy, like
The
a guy
standards
does,
changed
like
so
a guy
much.
does true fusion classes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's changed so much, and there's so like the impressive physiques has gone up so fucking
Yeah,
much.
that's what I meant. Like, when I grew up, the physiques was so much skinnier
mm-hmm.
than where they are now. Like with The Rock and like Wahlberg, and like they're getting bigger. You know, it's
And then
cool.
also the pressure with social media too, because you know if anyone feels they can be relevant on social media, it's
Yeah.
almost like you have to be like a sub 8% body
Dude,
fat,
speaking of social
be
media, bro,
massive all the time.
I feel like it's just coming out. What's up? That Hall guy. what's that Hall dude? That Hall guy's name? Remember he did the
Oh,
morning
Ashton
routine.
Hall?
Ashton Hall. He
Mhm.
did this morning routine that went fucking insane viral. Did you see it?
With the ice and stuff.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
put like the ice and he
You
put
know.
the
But now
fucking
he-
The
banana.
banana.
But he just like But did you hear about the stuff that he's like scamming?
Yeah.
people?
Oh, yeah.
He's getting exposed.
yeah.
Now.
Look,
It's almost
I-
that classic saying of the faster you rise or whatever, the faster the fall. So he just got like achieved that
fast,
success
yeah.
so fast, so many views, and then his plummet is inevitable. You know, I think it's coming. This is just probably the surface of all. The
I think
scams
it's
and
also
shit that's going
people
on.
like they want more, but they don't have a capacity for more. So he probably gets more and more clients instead of just like closing down. You
yeah,
know,
well,
like,
bro, even how he talks about business though, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like at the end of the, I want to do 10K. Like me and my like millionaire client who runs a business was like, we were like laughing about that, and my buddy Chris, we're like no one talks like that
Yeah.
bro in business. So it just seemed like kind of a noob thing to say. So like he like it was just it's kind of a joke because and it comes to that and Kenny talks about because I feel like people have the wrong idea about Kenny, like he's just out there picking people. No, he's not down for people who are inauthentic, and I feel like those people do need to be
It's
exposed.
the people that deserve it.
It's the
Yeah,
people who
you know?
deserve it. He's not like picking on people who don't deserve it. He's picking on people who should be exposed for like
Right.
for being inauthentic. I think that fool.
So then they don't get scammed.
prime
by
example
Ashton
of
Hall.
that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, did you see the thing where he's wearing earbuds in the shower and stuff too? It's just like it's like almost like he's trolling, but he's not though.
Right.
But he's not. He's so serious.
I'm trying to think of who because he's definitely a version of Simeon Panda. But if you were to combine Simeon Panda with some
More
other
feminine.
type of influencer that's like business related, some
Yeah.
horrible scam artist business, you know,
did
personality.
Simon Panda
combine
did something
them,
like that?
and that's Ashton Hall. I
Yeah.
feel, you know,
Did Simon Panda did anything like that, like scamming people or like having I feel like he just had good sponsors.
I don't know of him ever like scamming people, but I'm talking physique wise.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Ashton Hall dude does have a pretty
amazing.
crazy physique,
Amazing.
you know,
Like
and
you
that's
said, Jay
obviously
Cutler's podcast,
a
the black
big
dude was
marketing
insane.
perspective for
Yeah.
him, and that's probably why it blew up so much because he is a fit dude,
Yeah, he makes great videos.
Is he natty or
like
not?
entertaining. He says he is.
Yeah,
But definitely not.
He's definitely not.
They all do.
But by Simon Panda, I can somehow believe because there's people with good genetics.
That's what
And-
Jay said too.
And when
on
you
the
meet him in
podcast.
real life, he looks not that big. Like I met him at the FIBO 5-6 years before, and I'm like, he's just jacked, but he's not big, and he has black genetics. So
not like super conditioned, but he
Yeah.
is still.
I'm on
I
Kenny's
don't know.
side. I'm on Kenny's
I
side
don't,
with
I
this.
don't
I'm
think
sorry,
he
dude.
is.
I
You know,
think-
and
yeah, I was
that's
like,
probably why it's always going to be such an interesting topic. Because
Yeah.
you have the back and forth of people believing versus not believing. So same thing with Ashton Hall. I'm sure there actually probably is people that believe that dude's natural.
No,
I
I-
don't think there's.
I
a
don't
chance
think
that
he
dude's
is natural.
no.
like with him and Simon Panda, there's a level. He has way more mass than Simon Panda.
You think
But
so?
Simeon Panda's
Yeah.
also a tall dude too. You gotta remember that. I
How
think he's
tall
like
is
my
he?
height. I think he's like 6'2",
Really?
6'3", somewhere around that height. He's a taller dude. He's a big guy.
Yeah, I mean,
He was a stud. I've heard about much of him lately. Is he still crushing in the industry?
I have no idea. Yeah,
Because he
same
was
thing.
like the man for the longest
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Like I feel
Right.
like him and Mike Rashid were like when I was.
what happened to Lazar? You ever Lazar Angelov?
Oh, he was actually one of my favorite influencers.
Yeah,
back in the
me
day.
too.
Just physique wise, you know, I
Physique-
like the
he
way his
looked
physique
crazy.
looks, super aesthetic. But same thing. I just feel, you know, there's always the waves of new creators coming up or new athletes who get the recognition and then they kind of do their time and then they start to kind of on the
Yeah.
decline. Someone new comes out or is more relevant and then they kind of take the limelight. So
you know Lazar? Lazar, he had like an
Angelov?
8-pack. Yeah, he had like a crazy 8-pack.
this is probably like 2011
Yeah.
time frame. This
Oh.
is a while ago.
I probably
Kind of
know
the
if I saw him.
Ziz time frame.
Oh, really?
You know, back
Oh, wow.
then.
Jeff
imagine.
Sides and all those.
The Jeff side. He's still competing. I mean, he's trying to make like a comeback. And
He's
whatnot.
doing natural now.
natural
bodybuilding.
shows, yeah. Which I do think he is natural now. Maybe back when he was on Olympia stage, I don't think
I don't
so.
think
I
he was natural
maybe
back
on
in the days.
Not the craziest cycles of all time, but probably like some VAR or something like that test. You know.
But crazy is now. I had a guy athlete who competed yesterday at the Natural NPC show here in Vegas, and the rule is you can't take drugs for 3 years, steroids. So you could be jacked, just take 3 years off, and you still can do a natural show. That doesn't make sense to me. What do you say?
I don't either because
I don't
like,
think 3 years is enough
just
time.
last a crazy cycle for like 20 years and then like
Yeah.
just take a 3-year hiatus and then step on the natural stage.
Because when they do the lie detector, they ask, did you took anything the last 3 years? But you would be jacked even taking 10 years off. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I that's cool. They're doing it. It's just hard to.
I would say you need at least 6-7 years being natural.
The thing with natural too is I have a lot of people that ask about it. It's just not as exciting,
Not
you
nearly
know.
close.
No.
And
Their
that and
bodies
that's
look
the
like-
reason
their
I don't
bodies
ever
look-
see the natural bodybuilding becoming, any
No.
bigger than even what it currently is, just because everyone always wants the mass monsters or the freak.
Not just
type of look.
that, it's there also. I don't want to bash somebody, but I watched the whole show yesterday. And none of them is really conditioned because you don't get the graininess that we are used to. They look good, but they are not shredded to the bone.
And you got to sacrifice size in
Yeah.
order to get down super conditioned, you know.
And let's be honest, dude. I think the guys who are willing to push gear are willing to train harder. They're willing to eat more meals. I think they're just. I think it's a whole. Of course, it's the compounds, but I feel it's a lot of the mindset too.
Of course.
I mean, it'd be kind of like every sport, UFC, football, boxing, whatever it is. If you took a completely 100% natural federation versus the current version, it's going to be a night and day difference in the performance. It'd be like watching the NFL, but none of them are on any type of performance enhancers. They're just going to look like average Joes, playing football from the 1980s versus what it is now. So it's just like an excitement aspect to it.
Are those drug tested like NFL and all those leagues?
Yeah, but they're all taking shit. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah, right.
They almost
just
have
look
to,
at John
though.
Jones. Like, the dude's been busted how many times, but gets out of it every time just because of whatever story he comes up with. They're all on something. I think even fucking Nate Diaz said something in one of his interviews where every fighter is on some type of performance enhancer.
I mean, at least
Same
some
for every
growth
division,
hormone.
Because why would you not? I mean, the
yeah,
level
why
of
would you
competition's
not?
so high, you're at a disadvantage if
Yeah.
you're trying to do it
Yeah.
naturally.
And just the
Recovery.
recovery. That's the biggest thing. Recovery too, man. Fuck.
And
Yeah,
just-
I think.
if you're somewhat competitive, you want to be number one in
course.
whatever you're doing. So
Yeah.
what's it going to take? What's the other, top 10, even top 20, top 100, 200 doing? Is they're all going to be taking something to give them an edge over the competition.
But I feel also like people who are watching it, pushing it, because you want to every year see a record. Somebody get faster, stronger, but there is just a limit that you can get. So we are pushing those people to take drugs at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Nobody want to watch Olympics where you don't have new records. That would be boring,
True.
right? Would you
Yeah,
watch
exactly.
it? No.
Yeah, no.
So it's like in order to beat that, you
Yeah.
have to. It's almost a standard that you have to do at this point.
Yeah, I think it'd be great in sports. I don't understand why. I think with baseball, it did way worse numbers when it came down when they did the whole steroid. I mean, people hit more bombs. The pitchers were on steroids too. It just seems like an even playing field. If you're playing at that high level,
I feel like it would actually be, they should open it up to you can do whatever you want, because not only would it make every sport more transparent, but then it would allow people to know this person's willing to go to this extent to become the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because everyone's not going to be willing to do that. For instance, like a Barry Bonds type of thing, hitting home runs all the time,
Yeah.
taking whatever his
Yeah,
cycle
and that-
was. To
I feel
get
like
to
they're
that.
afraid that kids are gonna want to take it. But here's the
Yeah.
thing: they don't realize like
They're going to take
kids
it
want
either
to take it
ways.
anyway, dude.
Yeah.
I had an 18-year-old kid one time come up to me and ask me like to write out his trend cycle. I'm like, bro, I'm not being any part
But
of
in
it.
Turkey, that's normal. I have like people with
Like, don't do
15.
that, but 500
Yeah.
milligrams.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
right, yeah, right.
Don't do that, but I sell you later.
Yeah, yeah.
Meet me at the door.
So they're gonna want to do it anyway, just because I feel like the I think Instagram alone with like just the comparisons, I think people want to just look
Bro,
as good as possible.
Trend
Fuck doing a
Twins
sport.
is in their name.
Mhm.
The Trend Twins is in their name. Like you want to tell me people are not taking Trend because of them? There's definitely kids.
Yeah. People call me Chipotle now. I have like people
Really?
who call me that nickname Chipotle.
That's still one of the
Because
best
that-
stories I've
because
heard.
that
It's
story,
so funny.
Yeah.
What story?
The story when I was taking Trend and I was so horny I had to jerk off in a Chipotle.
Go get the door code.
Yeah, I
Get
did
in
the
there
door
and rub
code
it
and
out real
everything.
quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was. You know how it is. It's wild.
Yeah, but it's wild also, these steroids, how people react to it differently.
True.
For
Yeah.
instance, when I take Trend, I'm not horny at all. I'm the opposite. I'm getting really depressed.
Really?
Like I could look at the wall and start crying. Like it's the opposite because I'm not an aggressive
So,
person.
like more emotional.
Yeah, I'm so emotional and
Do you
like
get more pissed off?
yeah,
Like short
no,
temper?
not even that.
Okay.
It's crazy, but I get like super depressed.
I feel like there's
it's
a lot
so
of
weird.
bodybuilders too.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
Like a lot of the bodybuilders
Yeah.
are just like that too, though.
So it's like interesting which compound does what with you. Like,
Yeah.
but when I take halo testing, I'm like so short with everyone. Like I'm getting angry for no reason. A fork can fall on the floor. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Get angry.
Yeah.
But then I can take Trend like literally 700 a week, and I'm like, I'm just depressed.
It's true. Everyone's like a little bit different, shows side effects differently. For instance, I would never get like any different emotional state. Maybe a little bit more agitated driving, a little road
Oh
rage.
yeah,
here and
that's
there,
where mine comes out the most, bro.
for sure.
The shit you say in your car when someone's cut you off or something, bro, it's so bad, dude.
It's almost like I wish there was a candid camera
Oh
the
my
whole
God, I'd
time
be
during
so- I'd
that,
be-
just to
I'd be-
take little snippets and clips of the shit that's
get
said in
canceled.
traffic.
Does that ever happen to you that somebody cuts you and then he sees you and then apologizes in the car? When I'm in the tank top, that happens so often.
Yeah.
I had the other day somebody honked at me and then he came next to me and he looked and he's like, okay,
My bad. My
Yeah.
bad.
my bad. You can drive. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I've had 2 guns pulled on me because of road rage.
No way.
Yeah, so I don't like try to mess around with it at all. The toughest guy I know, this dude Marlon, who worked out at LVAC Flamingo. He was like the jacked, scariest guy ever. 350-pound black guy, was so strong. Road rage incident, some fucking little wigger killed him. Toughest guy I know, dude. Just shot him,
Really?
killed him. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wait, is this the dude that was? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Is he was he a bodyguard for Mayweather,
oh, I don't know.
or is this a different guy?
Maybe it was a different guy.
Because I remember there was some super tall black dude that
Oh, really?
was like massive at LVAC who
Yeah?
was Mayweather's bodyguard.
Oh, did he get?
Maybe it was a different dude though.
Yeah, maybe it was different. I think it was different.
Maybe it was a different
Yeah.
guy. Interesting though. Yeah, that's true. That is all it takes though. You know,
It's-
could be
yeah.
the biggest dude.
Yeah, because especially if you're bigger, I feel like they're like more threatened
Yeah.
by you. You know, so they're like less willing to
That's true.
Especially nowadays, bro. People will do some crazy shit.
crazy shit.
You know.
And speaking of crazy shit, dude, it's funny because I've been seeing all these stuff in my Instagram of like kids going in the stores. I feel like there's more than ever people are like just getting like guerrilla content, like going in fucking stores and screaming. Like, have you seen that guy who goes in
No.
different areas with his whole group and screams at different areas of the stores?
Oh, and then they try and kick him out, but they had a
Yeah,
friend do it, and they're
yeah, but
like,
they have a
"Oh, my
friend, they're
bad.
like, "Oh, it's not
I
you,
thought it was
okay."
you guys."
That's
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
No, I
It
need
is
to
pretty
watch
funny
it.
though.
Dude, these young kids don't give a fuck, bro. They don't give a shit.
True.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, dude. We're
They
in like the
give.
content of we're in the era of like guerrilla content. It seems like.
I must wonder too in the next 20 years, like what the fuck's content gonna be? You know, because it's already transitioned so much in just the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So in the next 20.
Where do you think it's
What-
going in the
what's the
next
standard?
5?
Yeah, what do you think AI gonna do to the content? Because you guys not see also a lot of content right now, fake animals, fake
Mhm.
creatures, like big snake in a lake. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is AI. Like
Right.
what's gonna happen in 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be crazier and crazier, and then it's gonna be to the point we can't even discern what's reality.
Yeah.
anymore, you know, or maybe we'll be plugged into some version of AI. I always say with GTA 6, I always feel like it's actually already been released. And we're in it right now.
it's gonna be.
We're in it right now.
We just didn't know. We're already plugged in, and that's why they keep delaying the launch of it for so long because it's already here.
Dude, I love it. I love ChatGPT. I literally, for like these 2 other businesses I'm starting, I made the logo. Usually I'd have to like have somebody else help me with that, but just like it just type
It's
shit
so
in. and just
crazy.
boom.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. In the next like 20 years, we're gonna be going. Actually, sooner than that. In the next 5 years, we're gonna be going to doctors and stuff who have absolutely no knowledge. They learned everything off ChatGPT.
Yeah,
you know,
ChatGPT
so
is
we're
like smarter
cooked.
than a regular
That's
hook.
crazy.
Oh, we're
dude.
so cooked though because no one's gonna actually know anything. They'll be like, "1 second, I'll be right back."
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw somebody.
So it looks like you got cancer of the
Yeah.
kidneys here.
yeah.
I saw somebody like telling you can go to your fridge, make a picture, and ask ChatGPT, and he gives you what you can cook with
Really?
those ingredients.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or, but also dangerous stuff. You could go to your garage and film what you have in the garage and ask, hey, how can I make it explosive out
Yeah.
of this material?
Mm-hmm.
Will it
Is
let
that
you do that?
crazy?
It'll let you do that. Sometimes they monitor that.
You can
shit.
almost
some
get
of-
away with anything as long as
Yeah.
you word it right on
Ah.
there.
Yeah,
So if
that's
it
crazy.
gives you some type of clapback response saying it can't do that, you just got to rephrase it in a way and say hypothetically. if
Yeah,
I
it's
were
crazy.
to-"
This might sound kind of gay, but I use it as my psychiatrist sometimes. You ever do that?
Yeah, no.
Do you
I
ever-
have this one. I'll have to send you this whole layout. It'll ask you a series of 10 questions and it will break down your entire personality to you.
Really?
And like, yeah, it's wild. I'll send it to you
And
after
ChatGPT?
this. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it'll tell you stuff that like you didn't even know about yourself. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, also there's an AI app for you talk to that person or to the app and they create the perfect partner for you, the AI. So he's chatting with you an hour and then he literally finds out what kind of personality you need as a girlfriend. And they were talking about people literally broke up with their wife or partner because they fell in love with that person.
That's fucking weird.
It's
don't blame 'em.
You
crazy.
can't fuck your
I don't
phone.
blame
Like,
'em.
how crazy?
Not yet.
Yeah, you got.
Not yet, but
Even
once
if-
we
even if you
can.
could, dude.
Yeah.
That's weird,
What
dude.
is it? It's
That's like
not
those guys
crazy.
that
All
fall in love
you know
with
what's
cars and
interesting
shit.
now is the dating culture now, you know?
Yeah.
For instance, have you used ChatGPT to reply to anyone? Like a female's response?
He probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to answer on
Yes.
camera if you don't want. I mean, I know I have.
yes.
It's pretty
Is he
good.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it helps you. It's more efficient. Like it'll like if you want to like word something like how you want to say it and then make it say more eloquently. Like I use it a lot for grammar.
For
My
sure.
grammar is fucking atrocious. So I'll type something out and it'll say it more eloquently in a proper grammar.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's funny that you
Did
said
you
that.
did you do that?
Made me call
Oh, yeah.
myself out.
How is it? Is it
Actually
good?
it works great
It's
as long as you
amazing.
can make it sound not too far off from
Yeah,
yourself. You know,
yeah.
like write a phrase in there and say, try and make the sound not too professional, but maybe lighthearted, a little funny. Throw a joke in there. It's pretty good.
It's so cool. I feel like
It's kinda
people who really
freaky.
utilize that will go to a whole nother level. That's why
But
I'm always
it's just
using
not.
it.
We're gonna get just lazier by day.
See, that's what you think
For
though,
sure.
dude. That's
like
I
we're
get-
getting
yeah.
so lazy.
You get lazy, but here's the thing though. Like I feel like you have to use the technology at hand, and if the people who aren't using this,
You're at a
they're just doing
disadvantage.
their self, they're complete
Yeah.
disadvantage. And that's why I feel like I feel like you said with the shirt thing and making business logos, it's like fucking easy. I don't need anything
Yeah,
to
it
do
is.
it. Like if you want to create a logo, you want to start a business, like you have no fucking excuses anymore. Like you're just a lazy fucking piece of shit
Mhm.
if you're not using
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Like, oh, I need help with a logo. Oh, dumbass, it's so easy.
Yeah.
It
You know
literally
what I
takes
mean?
like 2 minutes
And
on
it takes 2 minutes.
ChatGPT.
Hey, I need a business plan. Fucking ChatGPT will help you come up. Now, what's the reason you're not starting, pussy?
Right.
That's
So you know,
great,
it
yeah.
kind of like the people who are talking all this shit, they want to start a business and do this or that. It kind of helps you, and if you have,
It helps with a lot of stuff.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it helps you emotionally too. If you need it, like
I
a
need- I-
psychiatrist, like I use. it most
We're
of the
basically at the point where like our older generations where they were persistent about not using the internet and doing things old school, you know, continuing to print on paper, not doing like email marketing, that type of stuff. They fell wayside, and it's the same type of thing now with
That's
AI.
crazy.
If you don't adapt to what the new thing is to be more productive, then you're just gonna fall wayside
Yeah.
or fall behind.
And that's how you
So
kinda stay
you just gotta
relevant.
stay
But
up
do you
to
know,
date
guys,
on-
also think that some of the people are gonna lose their job?
Oh
Like,
fuck yeah!
Mhm.
Oh fuck
because there's so simple jobs that AI could
yeah.
easily
We're gonna have
do.
to pay people. I feel like. Did you ever see that podcast with Andrew Yang? I believe it was. He came on Rogan's podcast 4 years ago, and he predicted about AI taking people's jobs, and you need like a universal basic income. And yes, it'd make
Wow.
people more lazy, but I think it's inevitably going to get to that spot where like there's going to be such a shortage of jobs that people should just get paid. And I don't, if with all the money we spend in bullshit places in the United States, I
Yeah.
feel like that's not a bad thing. If we all got a little bit extra money, like
Right.
say Kenny makes good money, right? Maybe he doesn't need it. He gives it to like his homie. I'm not saying
He
that
doesn't wanna
would,
give that.
but like I know, of course not. But like I just think it with all the waste we spend with our money, it just makes sense that like
Are you a
and that
communist,
guy
man?
Andrew Yang.
Are you a communist?
No, I'm not.
He-
It's just the
he's like, I didn't know.
dude,
Are you a communist, bro? I'm not sharing. What?
No, we gotta share it, but I'm just saying with all the shit we spend on bullshit stuff.
No,
in the
I
United
get
States,
it.
You know what I mean?
Wait, because where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Switzerland, but my parents are Turkish.
Okay.
Switzerland's a shit though, right?
Switzerland,
That's like the home
yeah.
of all the. That's where all the ballers go to hide their money, right?
Yeah.
I have heard some
all the
nice
money
things
is there.
about it.
Isn't
Yeah.
that funny?
Yeah.
That's like what Switzerland's known for. I feel like
all
it's
the-
like that's where the ballers. Go.
I think Switzerland is such an interesting country
I heard it's
because
amazing.
even in the war, like everybody was involved into the war,
Yeah, not Switzerland.
World War II, but
Because
they
they
were
get so
like,
much
we are
money."
neutral.
Yeah.
Bro, you're in the middle of it.
You guys are.
How
the
can you be
smartest.
neutral? It's like
Right.
there's a fist fight, you're in the middle of the fist fight, and you're like, I'm not doing
'Cause
anything.
they got the money.
It's like you're cool, you're
Yeah.
cool.
They're
you
like
know,
a Game of Thrones. They're like the Golden Bank. Remember, like the,
It's
remember they
crazy.
called it something like
just
that,
keep
remember?
collecting. Yeah.
They're on the Lannister side. They'll be on the stuff. They don't give a fuck. They're like whoever's got
Smart
whoever's the
though,
best chance to
for
win.
sure. Yeah, you gotta play
But
both
it
sides.
is like, imagine you're in the middle of it. Like, because around Switzerland, there's Italy, Austria, France, Germany. So you're around the countries that have war, but you are not involved.
hmm
How is this possible?
True. You know what's been interesting too? My entire Instagram feed has become like a pro-Hitler type of.
Dude, isn't that wild,
feed.
dude? The
I don't know if you've seen
anti-Semitism
those
wave, bro.
videos.
The anti-Semitism wave is
My
crazy,
entire feed,
bro.
dude. It's been going insanely
but
viral.
it gets easy to go conspiracy theory when you find out the Jewish people are like running everything though.
For
so
sure.
it's like a perfect storm to like you know what I
Yup.
mean? Because if you do a little bit of digging, you're like, hold on, wait.
I mean,
When you actually look
everybody
into
knows
them, it
that.
does get kind of deep, where you
yeah, it gets
start to
deep.
be, down
Yeah.
the rabbit hole, so
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, for sure. But Kanye definitely probably started that wave, just like he starts in fashion, bro. That's a little too crazy.
I
Yeah,
was
but
almost
when-
gonna scoop a couple of those shirts for my friends. you know?
Yeah, right. Those SWAT
But they have the money and they build like they are everywhere. Like,
Jewish people.
yeah, they're everywhere.
Actually, you know
They're
what I've
behind
kind of
the
learned
scenes.
through Kanye too,
They're behind the scenes.
Yeah.
right? Is you can't really be canceled if you don't believe you're cancelable.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't care about being canceled, you can't be canceled.
Yeah.
For instance,
Yeah.
Kanye is the perfect example. He doesn't care. So even though people want to cancel him, he's uncancelable.
Yeah.
It's going to continue
Yeah.
to get attention.
What is that word canceled even? Like you're still alive.
You can
like
only
what
be
you
canceled
you
if you
cancel?
care and you
Yeah.
stop. That's
There's
literally
like,
the
I feel like
only
there's
way.
a wave of pushback though, which is I feel like is pretty cool. I
Mhm.
feel like there was like a lot of pushback on that now. And we're just kind of making fun of, which I like. We're like making fun of like the people who used to be cool, like we're the celebrities who are so full of shit, kind of like what me and you are anti, like
Mhm.
fake people. Like I
Right.
feel like it was so like refreshing to see people like make fun of the Met Gala.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Like you know what I mean? Just to see like you guys are such pretentious douchebags, and like we don't care what you say anymore. Like look at the celebrities when they were going up for the election. No one gave a shit. It was
True.
the podcasters that are setting the tone.
Yep.
Yeah, but I
Like
think like
YouTubers now,
yeah,
content
the
creators, for
the
sure.
greatest thing is to be not to lie to people. Like people think like, oh, we need to young people watch this. You can't say that, bro. He's gonna hear it somewhere.
People are too smart these days. You'll have someone
Yeah.
like Kenny Ko
Yeah.
fucking find out and call your ass out.
For
Yeah,
instance,
Too bad.
true.
when I was doing YouTube in Turkey, they're like, you can't have vapes or stuff in your videos. I'm like people know I'm vaping. Who cares?
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
but you can't do it. I'm like, I don't care. And the same with like, you can't talk about drugs. You can't talk about steroids. I was the one of the first in Turkey who started education with videos. I did literally about every steroid a video. And then people like that everybody should do that. Yeah, like just because we don't talk about doesn't mean they don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
Same with drugs. You remember we talked last time. Just because we don't talk about MDMA, it's not like nobody takes it.
True.
Rather,
If
you
anything, I
talk
feel like
about
you
and
should
you
have
warn
more
them.
information out
yeah,
there.
you should
Yeah,
have more
yeah.
information.
For sure.
Yeah, they should just be legal, dude. What's that country? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
What's that country where it's legal and like,
Oregon.
the crime rate and the no, Oregon.
I mean,
Oregon.
I think I know. Is that not?
I mean,
some
he's
of
not.
the-
He's not wrong.
No,
no,
because
some of the drugs are
Yeah, some of the
legal.
drugs, but there's a country that's everything's legal and they have like a crazy like the crime rate's super down and like the overdoses are down. It's just like it completely changed because they got rid of the whole underworld.
interesting.
Really?
I
Yeah,
wonder,
they
I'm
just
trying to think
monitor
which
it.
one
So
it would have
there's
been.
places that if you want drugs, they'll give it to you and monitor you because people are gonna do it anyways. But the problem was,
I don't think any of us could live.
yeah, well, because
But see, here's the thing too. We're gonna get it anyway.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get,
that's
you know
true.
what I mean. Get bad
So
shit.
as
Yeah,
long as you
that's
make
true.
it actually accessible and
Yeah.
legit, it's gonna prevent people getting stuff that
yeah, and
they
who cares?
weren't
though?
meant to be
That's the
having.
thing. That's what I hate about this thing. Is like, who gives a fuck? Why the fuck do you care what someone else does?
Yeah.
Like, why do you care? Like, make money and tax the shit out of
Yeah.
it. And like, I don't like how they treat people who do drugs anyway. Like, they're like super crazy about like you put them in jail for doing like why? Like, who are you to tell someone else what they can do?
Right.
And especially what we're learning right now about MDMA, there's benefits. You
Mhm.
may not want to address that. Like,
I
alcohol
think-
is legal, and alcohol is one of the worst things.
I
I'm
think
sure there's a-
alcohol is way
well,
worse.
cosmetically, it's the worst for your body.
Of course.
The worst for your
Also
body.
internally too, it's literal
And it's-
poison.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's but it's accessible. If you go out and drink, if we were drinking right now,
It's
people wouldn't give
normal.
a fuck.
Yeah.
If we were blowing lines, maybe that's a little too much. But
Yeah,
if we were,
man.
you know what I mean? Maybe if we're doing like small things of Molly, people would be like, "That's sketch," right? But if we're doing alcohol, I guarantee
Yeah.
that little bit of Molly is safer than that.
But I
That-
think
Isn't
even
that such an interesting way that it's perceived?
yeah.
Yeah.
Alcohol
it's
is this
fucked up.
like
It's wrong,
acceptable
too.
thing, but it's literally one of
it's
the worst
wrong.
that's on the
It's
chart.
fucked.
I
It
read
drives
it,
me nuts.
I read the other day in the news. I think in Russia, everything under 10%, like alcohol, doesn't even count as alcohol.
Yeah, because they just go nuts.
Yeah, like it's normal to
Really?
drink beer.
Mhm.
Like how crazy is that?
Right? Which I wonder how that became that way, where these other things are outlawed, or viewed as bad, but alcohol is widely accepted.
Yeah. Do you think it's as simple as money? It seems like that. With
Yeah,
everything at the highest
tax.
level now, when you get
It's-
older,
yeah.
it seems like it's all
It's all money.
it's all money, right? Even
But I
like
almost
the
feel
cru-
like they can make so much money from the other
for
compounds,
sure,
you know?
right? For sure. They
So
could.
why are they not?
But I
Maybe
mean,
it's because they want us in a more unhealthy type of state.
See, then you go deep.
Because then you got to go into the rabbit hole of like big pharma running
Which is
everything,
legit.
where they want us in like a weakened, almost
legit
sick type
rabbit
of
hole.
state.
No,
Yeah,
it is. And if you
It's a
said that
business.
pre-COVID, you would be scoffed at. I remember people
Mhm.
were literally telling me I was going to kill people for telling people to go outside and get a walk.
it's crazy.
And like fucking bartenders, like chick bartenders, like giving me advice, like shut the fuck up, like what do you know?
yeah, that's like
But they're just so
COVID
the
time.
dogma. They listen to
COVID
the
time
dogma.
was so crazy. Like
Mhm.
people, there was 2 pools.
All the bodybuilders
Some
are
of
right
them-
too. All the fucking bodybuilders and all
Yeah,
the fitness
don't
people
take
are
the-
right.
don't take
and
the
we got
vaccine.
scoffed at. All the doctors are saying this and that, and then all the fitness people, all the personal trainers who are working people outside, and because here's the thing, we got a lot of shit, dude. A lot of trainers got a lot of shit for doing that. I got shit for people training people outside, and it's like
Yeah.
none of those pussies ever had to apologize.
for
And
sure.
it pisses me off. And we were the ones right. We were the ones saying vitamin D. We were the ones saying eating healthy. We were the ones saying get exercise. And the doctors were saying, get this COVID mask and wear a fucking mask, or get this COVID shot and wear a fucking mask.
But
Stay inside.
again,
Don't
the
you dare
money.
leave your
Yeah.
house.
But it's
Yeah.
again money. Like there was literally 2 pools. the ones who believed in the vaccine and the ones who gave a fuck, and like they were hating each other.
I forgot what the exact number is. Did you ever see like how much money the vaccine actually made?
Oh,
I know
you
it's
can't even
insane.
imagine. I
Dude,
don't think
I mean, we probably can't even cover it on this
No.
podcast, but like,
it's probably so
look
much
up after
money.
this. I don't even know what the exact number was anymore. It's probably even higher now. Oh my gosh, bro. It is absurd how much money it made.
Yeah,
because
you
they
ca-
forced
yeah.
people to do it.
yeah, dude. My mom was crying to me, bro, to get the vaccine. My girlfriend at the time was
Yeah.
a nurse, and she pressured me to do it.
Did
and,
you do it?
No, yeah, I did eventually because I was like, I tried, but
Mhm.
you know, I'm a little resentful now. I gotta be
Yeah, of
honest,
course.
but I mentioned this stuff on Rogan, right, and get invited me, and they literally scoffed at me.
Really?
Like, so there's like almost like this medical like pretentiousness
Mhm.
because they've been to school for so long, so their ego gets kind of bruised when there's an all holistic way to do stuff. I've noticed, and it's just quite unfortunate because they're just ingrained in this
But
dogma.
it doesn't even make sense. Like, for instance, I had so many conversations with they are like, so you have the vaccine, yes. Then why do you want me to have the vaccine? You have the vaccine, you're safe. But I want that you're safe. No, don't. You have the vaccine.
Mhm.
Why should I have it?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, why do you care
Should be like
about
a
me
personal
getting
choice.
it? Yeah, do whatever you want.
All right, Kenny. So there's a really hot chick, but everywhere you go, she wears a mask. Are you dating her?
No.
That
There's
shows the
enough hot girls to
character.
replace
Yeah.
one. I can
That's
find an
Sorry, I
equally
didn't mean to
hot
interrupt
one
you.
that doesn't wear a mask.
I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you. I
No,
just had to
no, no.
ask
You
that.
have to.
Yeah.
No, for sure, no. Especially now, like if they're still wearing a mask.
there's
no
people
shot.
still wearing
Come
masks.
on. I know. I'll see them from time to time, especially if you're in an airport or something. Even in the gym, if I see someone in the gym still wearing a motherfucking mask, I'm like, dude, come
who
on.
hurt you, bro?
Yeah.
It's
Like,
who
come
hurt
on.
You? It's like, you
And
wanna,
even the masks, the packaging it says it doesn't. You're not secure.
it's like a mental thing.
Is
At
it-
that point.
yeah.
Let's be real about it. It's like a mental thing at that point. It's kind of.
I want to know how much money they make with the masks only.
Dude, I'm almost kind of happy that we lived through that time frame though, because it was so entertaining and so bizarre. You
So
know,
bizarre.
going grocery shopping and then
Yeah.
someone
So
had it
bizarre.
off for a second, they would get lectured by 20 people
Yes.
about, but like, put your
Crazy.
mask
People were
back on.
Karens, dude. People,
You know,
people
everyone
became-
was a Karen
People
about
became
it.
big time sheep, dude.
Yeah.
You kind of found out who the real sheep were
Crazy.
because I feel like the people who were like kind of saying fuck this or like anti the vaccine, there's people who are like, no, you have to get it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then what a lot of people don't realize too is, I mean, I guarantee there's already a cure for cancer, but why would they cure a business that makes so much money?
Yeah.
People have to look at it like the world is run by money.
Well, they
and
say
why would
methylene
you?
blue is supposed to help. Who knows with that yet, but right.
Well, I mean, there's things that will definitely help,
Mhm.
but the thing is, of course, they're not going to want you to know about this type of stuff because they want everyone in a weakened, sick state because it's so profitable.
which sounds crazy,
Right.
Because we're not greedy fucks. If you're like, oh, that sounds really
It's
weird. that
crazy
sounds
for
really
people to wrap their
conspiracy-like.
mind around, but you have to realize Big
Yeah.
Pharma is literally one
Yeah.
of the biggest businesses in the
Yeah,
world.
greed makes those motherfuckers crazy. It's just
Yeah.
like it just and they
So
say
you,
fuck
you
the
you don't want
morals.
people to be healthy because what does that mean? Your pockets are going to be less filled. You're
Yeah.
not going to have as much revenue. So,
But that's
what's the
with a
best
lot.
way
That's
is
with a lot of
have
things
people in
like that.
weakened state.
Like my teacher said, that was like 20 years before. So she said they can already do like lingeries, like those socks that women have. They can produce them that they don't go bad, like they have tears or anything, but they don't produce them because if you have some that you can damage, how should you sell more?
Right.
And there's still none of them in the market. And that was like, she said her dad was working in the company, and that was like 40 years before. They could produce
Right.
socks that don't damage, but they don't produce it.
I mean, you could apply that business model to literally anything. You don't want someone to have a one-time purchase.
Yeah.
And they're set for life. You
It's just-
want reoccurring customers,
Yeah.
or you want business to keep flowing. And what's the best way to do that is
Yeah.
not fix a problem.
Yeah.
But
It's just wild
manage it.
that like pantyhose is one thing, but like the government was like, hey, let's test this vaccine on you. It's just so wild that the government was
It's
like,
crazy.
fuck you. Like it was super China vibes. I feel like we
I was lucky I was in Florida, so we didn't took it and it was fine.
yeah, luckily I'm
Yeah,
fine,
Florida.
thank God.
Yeah, the
Right.
governor was really cool. De Santos, I think. Was
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he was like the,
He,
was
he
the hero
opened
of
the
it.
gyms in 6 weeks. He's like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, we had
Let's
to
open up.
And then you know what the interesting part too was we had athletes, you know, who were supposed to be in the top tier shape that were falling over
That
dead.
was sketch, dude.
That,
Yeah.
you know, of course, were pro.
That was
you
really
know,
weird,
vax
and they tried to cover it up too, which is
Right.
odd. Like they was like saying that was like fake, and it was
Many
just really
soccer
weird.
player died even in Turkey.
Yeah,
Soccer
it's people
player.
that are supposed to have like the
Yeah.
best cardiovascular health. They're
Super
just
sketch.
falling over dead randomly.
Yeah, I hate finding out
For
about
instance,
the vaccine.
or do you remember the influencer Joe Aesthetics?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that was related to that?
I mean, I know he had a couple
He-
doses of
Yeah,
the vax and
he is
whatnot.
so healthy. He was healthy.
And I think his, if I'm not mistaken, was blood clot or something, which is
Fuck.
notorious with
Damn,
the
dude.
vax.
I never met him, but he seemed like very healthy guy.
Yeah,
Stud,
exactly,
bro.
right? You
Stud
you wouldn't
going to
expect
heaven.
something like that to
he had
happen.
everything by the balls, like kind of like he was like a Callum Van Mogert type, almost like really pretty
Mhm.
boy with insane genetics.
And everyone that knows him too, because Tony knew him really well too. He's a super healthy dude, so you wouldn't expect him to randomly get like a blood
So
clot or
scary.
something and pass away,
God,
right?
that's scary, man.
So what's like the one indicator or thing that was different
Yeah.
is
I'm waiting
he
like
got
in 5
he got multiple doses of you know
Wow.
what.
I'm waiting in 5 years commercial. If you had the vaccine,
Yeah, but they cover their ass.
please
on
go
that,
now
didn't
to the
they?
doctor.
Oh, I
This
would
could
love
be the
that.
side effect. You know, when they have
Sue 'em?
medications and then
Yeah,
They should. That'd be nice. They should get sued by everybody. I'd like that.
For
Like,
sure,
they should definitely
right?
pay up something, but they probably
that's
won't.
crazy.
so we'll see what comes of that, but
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see what you can do with people, you know, lie and you see who's the sheep, you know?
Yeah.
And most people were.
They were.
Like, I didn't have a lot of friends around me who were against it. They were like, why you don't do the
Yeah.
vaccine? I'm
and,
like, I
and
don't
the
do
fitness
it. Like,
people were the real champions of that, and I know they're gonna poo-poo it. And I know we like listen. The first responders killed it; they did a really good job. But as far as information goes, I feel like the fitness people were the ones saying the simple stuff that like get outside, get
Yeah.
a workout on. Because at that point, that was the best thing you could do. Take your multivitamins. Look at they end up finding like vitamin D was essential with COVID. Like you need to have
ivermectin.
Yeah, and that's good. For
I don't know if
cancer
you guys
apparently,
heard
too.
about ivermectin.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for cancer
Bro,
as well.
it's crazy. Ivermectin is, I think, one of the cheapest medication. That's why they never.
Horse tranquilizer,
for
they
sure,
called it.
'cause
But-
there's no money behind it.
But it helps, bro. If when I
Yep.
if my wife feels sick, we take it 2 days. I feel again good,
Yeah.
no matter what I have. But it's when you have even COVID. We had twice COVID. The second time we took ivermectin, it was gone in days,
Mhm.
and we were like 100%. But
Right.
they don't, because it's so cheap. They didn't say it helps COVID. They
Right.
rather want to have that you get vaccine.
Yep. Right.
Ivermectin, bro.
Yeah,
You
I'm a
should
big,
always have at home.
I'm a big
some.
Rogan guy, so he always talks about that. I remember when they put him on CNN and they made him like look like they changed the color of his skin tone. Did you hear about this?
No.
So they said that
Oh,
he
wait,
was
I think I
taking
do remember
ivermectin,
this.
and so when he had COVID, he made a video talking about it, but they made him like darker to look more sickly. Like they tanned him, dude.
I do
and like,
remember
he has
this.
I think he has a lawsuit going on with him, but
But do you not think he's gonna realize that?
Yeah,
Like
but they
somebody
were trying
like
to-
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like,
they're willing to do that. That's what's
like
crazy.
how dumb are you?
Yeah, but they're dumb like that. They're dumb. and
Or the people
believe
that
it.
still don't realize the news is propaganda. Like, it was
Complete
literally
propaganda.
made to brainwash people into believing a certain agenda.
That's why you gotta watch Alex Jones.
yeah. No lie though. That guy has been right about every single thing he ever talked
Everything.
about. Like no lie, I can't even think of one that he was wrong about.
Yeah,
Which is crazy because he was outcasted by everyone
Yeah, of
years
course.
ago for being this crazy lunatic
Yeah.
spreading.
and he
you know,
broke
these
the Bilderberg.
conspiracy
He broke the
theories.
Bilderberg. No one even talked about the Bilderberg group, where all the
Right.
rich CEOs and former presidents meet up and talk about shit.
So I'm just so glad everyone had to like swallow the bullet on that
Yeah.
and be like,
But
damn,
there's
he was actually
often-
right about all this shit.
Yeah.
There's often at Joe Rogan's podcast they say something and it happens. Even with the fire that happened in California,
yeah,
they literally predicted that like 6 months before.
yeah, dude. He's
It's like 6 months
Yeah.
before they said.
Trump did that. Trump said
Yeah.
that on his podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, and another fireman too. I think two. They said there's one day gonna be the perfect wind, the perfect speed, and a small fire gonna burn Los Angeles down.
Yeah,
And it literally 6 months later it happened.
yeah. And then you had random people setting fire to bushes and shit. It was really weird.
Some weird shit.
Cali's
I
just
mean,
weird. That's just a weird zone.
Yeah.
Bro. I don't know how people want to.
I mean, what people need to realize, even us, is it goes so much deeper than even we know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I'd
no.
love
Oh,
to
yeah.
know. Too.
I know there's definitely like only a few small groups that are in charge of essentially the whole world. Jumping back to you know which group.
Yeah.
You're watching too much South Park.
But no, they run the whole world. I swear.
know.
People
Yeah.
don't realize that there's only a few people that are actually in control.
Yeah, it's wild when you see like the supervillain like George Soros and that. But now he's like everyone knows who he is almost too. It's just
Because you saw how easy it is to brainwash people. You just gotta
Yeah.
get people to believe a certain agenda,
With
get the
money-
right people to push that agenda.
Yeah,
and
with
then
money,
they
you
do
can
it
do a
becomes-
lot.
music too.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at P Diddy, bro. When you have money, like how many years did he hide all that shit?
Yeah,
Like,
but that was
you
sketchy
need
too,
power
though.
for that. You need power.
Yeah, but someone turned on him too because he has a RICO case by himself. That's just wild. So like that whole thing is sketchy too. Like they like targeted him for some reason as well too.
Yeah.
It was really it's the whole thing is wild. Like you said, it goes real
Right.
deep.
It goes deep. Like,
And also, they never even released the whole Epstein list, did they?
They never
Ever,
probably will
right?
ever.
Which is so weird.
So weird.
That and then like the whole Diddy thing. I know there's
Yeah.
probably a lot of names
probably
that are associated
so
with
many
Diddy that we
celebrities are
aren't aware
probably
of,
on
right?
those
Yeah, dude.
videos. That's
They're
why.
that's the thing is like you find out these people at the highest level are the worst of us all.
Of course.
Right.
You know
the,
what I mean? Like
the more
That's
money
why,
you
actually,
have.
we're living in a very interesting time frame because this is when all this is kind of
coming out.
breaking out.
Yeah.
You know, my parents' generation and stuff, they just kind of followed whatever
They
the
follow
government
exactly,
said,
yep.
you know, and they still do to this day. You know,
Yeah,
my
they do.
parents live and die by the news or, you know, what they want to believe or what the news tells them. But we're in that generation where we actually start to think for ourselves and like piece things together and starting to figure it out. So we'll see where it's at in the next 10 years, you know.
Yeah, for instance, in Turkey, at some point, YouTube was illegal, and most news outlets was owned by the president.
Mhm.
So there was just one company, like a newsletter, that wasn't owned by them. So
Mhm.
imagine they blocked whole YouTube. You couldn't post anything political.
That's fucked.
The whole newsletters are from him. Like,
Mhm.
it's crazy.
Right. So we'll see.
He's
I mean,
savage.
Yeah, and now it doesn't really. It seems like it doesn't matter anymore, which I guess
No.
is awesome because you got the homie Musk making change at Twitter, and it seems like Zuckerberg's coming along too, which is dope.
right.
Because they shouldn't block that shit out anyways,
No.
dude.
I'm
I
glad
don't
they.
think so either.
I'm glad they did that. I think him buying Twitter changed, like, the direction we were going.
Yeah.
I think if he would have not done it, we were going in a really bad
Oh
direction.
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
dude.
And even with, I don't care if people are against Trump or whatever, but the decisions, like with all those gender stuff, like, we were going in a really bad direction.
yeah, it's just like you can believe how you want to believe, but like when you're like making people change their verbiage
Yeah, like,
and like looking to get offended about everything, I think intent has to matter at some point. You can't just blindly say I'm offended or you're doing this. You can't say that. That's kind of shitty to do.
Yep.
yeah,
you
there's
know?
also a couple, like, laws they need to change. Like, for instance, I heard from a story where they thought their daughter was born in the wrong body, so they changed it, and at the end it ended up it wasn't. She was just in a weird period of, like, when you can be a boy and play with Barbie. That doesn't mean you're in the wrong body.
Yeah, when you're a kid,
True.
it's
You
kinda
know,
too
Right.
much.
how many can you make that choice with 6?
Yeah, as a
And, like,
kid.
they listen to the, like, I would never listen to my daughter when she's 10 years
If you're
old.
18, who gives a
Go
fuck?
be
Right.
18
Yeah,
and
who
then
gives a shit
decide
about
your.
it? Yeah.
But you can't do that.
Right,
They should.
right.
Yeah, it's a little sketch.
This is sketchy,
it-
like,
it-
where you know.
It's
But
definitely sketchy.
I always love
always
like
say-
the comedy sketches. The guy being like, "Why can't I blast my kid with trend if I
Yeah.
can, if I can give my kid hormone
Yeah,
blockers to
right?
transition? This
Yeah.
is fucked up. It's one sided." Yeah.
Speaking of trend, what's up with Wes Watson?
Oh, I haven't heard anything on him in a little bit. I actually
got
did see his
arrested?
arrest video maybe last week or something.
Yeah.
I was a little bit behind on seeing that one. But I don't know if he's actually going back to prison or not. We'll find out. I've seen like a few podcast clips. Of
I
course,
thought
John
he was in
Bravo
the
makes a
jail.
lot covering him. But he's an entertaining one to
Well, because he's
like,
so
dabble
easy. Yeah, I feel like
into.
he's so easy to hate
For sure.
because he just like he's obnoxious, and I feel like I'm obnoxious, but he's obnoxious in like all the kind of the
Not
worst
in a good
ways.
way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good
He's
way.
part of that classic wave of like a coach who shouldn't be a coach, but he's trying to coach other people how to make money by scamming them essentially, you know, and it's just this weird, almost Ashton Hall type of vibe, you know,
Yeah, it's definitely that.
where it's like I'm this super knowledgeable coach, and here I'm going to coach you how to do it, but you learn absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I feel like he was another one that got called out by a lot of people, and it was like the industry is eventually going to find out all the phonies, and they're going to call him out. Like, don't get me wrong, the guy's made a ton of money, he's in good shape.
People are also naive. Like, you see maybe somebody posting with expensive car and his house, and then he's like, "Let me teach you make millions," and like, "Oh, let me believe him." Like, why the fuck are you believing him?
Yeah, I feel like you have to be so naive.
Yeah,
you know,
but
to
there's so
which I'm
many
sure
of
there
those
probably
people.
are, you know.
Don't
There's
you-
many people
Don't
like
you feel
that.
that there's like pushback to that, Kenny? Because I feel like a guy like Jay, who's like modest about stuff, I feel like he's more like, I feel like there's like a pushback to that like gaudy, like, look all I have type shit. You know what I mean? Like, because people are like kind of at some point like, fuck you, isn't there more than you, just all this money and shit?
So there's more of a clapback, I would say, now. But then once again, I think there's always going to be those kind of brainwashed people that are naive to what's going on and they just see the flashy things and they're not really the most reasonable thinkers and they may fall for whatever that gimmick is.
Yeah.
Because I think at one point he was charging like 25 grand or some absurd amount for coaching, right? And what are you realistically going to learn from Wes Watson? Like how to get arrested,
Yeah, you're not gonna be him. Yeah, how to get arrested,
how to get your
talk
feelings
shit.
hurt.
Yeah.
You know, what are you actually going to learn that's going to make you money? So, there's always going to be people that fall for certain scams and whatnot. I think there is a lot more people that are aware of what's going on now.
But
And then
that's what
they see the flashy type of stuff and they realize that this person probably isn't really that successful. It's all for show.
But
or
that's
for
why I'm
social
glad
media.
people like you exist. Like
Yeah, it's
back
like
in
you
the
need
days,
that balance.
yeah, like you need to like people get pissed because you're calling people out, but you're not calling somebody out for no reason.
right.
It's like there's dumb people outside. Let's say there is
Like for
dumb
instance,
people.
I'm not going to call someone out just because they're successful and it's out of like jealousy or
Yeah.
envy
Yeah.
for
I
that
can't see you
person.
doing that, yeah.
It's literally that because maybe what they're flexing isn't actually the
Yes.
reality of what's going on, and they're either scamming fans or scamming people for their hard-earned money that people aren't aware of, and I'm trying to expose that. And maybe usually the ones that clap back or get upset about it is because they're diehard fans of, let's say,
Yeah.
for instance, Wes Watson. They could never imagine him doing that type of thing. And then it's just earth-shattering
Just
for
naive
them to
as
hear
fuck.
that type of information about their favorite influencer. But that's just the reality of the situation. I think if people are killing it and they're doing things by the book and they're truthful and honest, then by all means, do what you're doing.
It's
I'm never
more
gonna
about
call
the
you out. Like,
lying.
I'll praise you for it. Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
just
it's more
open
the
and honest
lying.
about it. Yeah, it's the lying, the deceiving, which goes on so much nowadays. Everyone's trying to make money as easy as possible.
Yeah, but that's why I think we need to talk about open about everything. Like that's why the natty not natty thing is like I hate to like let's say somebody's 15, 16 years old and he looks at Jay Cutler and you tell them that's possible naturally. That's not a good lie. Let's be open. Talk about what can you reach with steroid. What can you reach natty? People have no perception. Like
Right.
we had literally my wife's boss who runs a wellness company. She asked my wife. She was shocked that I'm not natural. I'm like, I'm 270 pounds. How do I look natural? But people have no knowledge. And
like-
she's running a wellness company.
It's like the biggest disrespect you could say to
Yeah,
someone that's
I was
unnatural. Like,
pissed.
no, your physique looks natural.
Yeah.
Just
I was
instantly go
pissed.
cry in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
and it pisses me off when people say that, oh, like because you're not natural, that it's like less. It demeans like what you put
Yeah.
on to. That's the like annoying thing. It's like, oh, well, you're not natty. Like you're cheating. It's like, what am I cheating?
Yeah.
Or they
I'm
think
eating
it's
6
super
meals a
easy. You just
day.
take a pill and then magically
Yeah.
you become this like jack
Yeah,
top
they
tier
think that. That's what they
bodybuilder.
think. Like, or they say like, oh, imagine if I took steroids. Like, yeah, what would happen?
Yeah,
You'd
what
still
would
be a
happen?
pussy.
I
You'd
give
still
you
be-
some.
you'd
I
still be
sponsor
nothing.
you.
That's
Come
why I
most
interview a
likely.
lot of people too that don't look natural, or that they look natural, and then I'll interview them and they'll say that they're not natural, just because it goes to show that a lot of people will be on what is crazier cycles than top tier IFBB bodybuilders, but yet they look natural. So it's like they're either getting bunk gear, they have horrible genetics, they're not training, they thought it was going to be a magic fix, and it just goes to show people will be doing things you're not even aware of.
There's many of those.
Oh, for sure.
You go even LVAC. There's
Yeah.
people think there's not many people on steroids, but even in LVAC, I would say 10 to 20% of the males are on something, but you would never guess.
Yeah, bro.
Right, because the way they look.
Yeah, the way
would
you
not
look.
guess that. So
Yeah.
sometimes
'Cause
I'll interview those ones, and they're like, "Why'd you interview them to ask that?" Obviously, they look natural. I'm like, "Because they weren't natural. Did
Yeah.
you watch
Yeah.
the video?" Which goes to show that even people you think are going to be natural are probably not natural.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's why I'm happy like you called those people out. They
Mhm.
need to even Bradley or what's his name, the fake weight Castleberry.
Yep.
Like, it's like
I miss him.
He's so cringe to me, bro. I hate
it's
to
so
talk shit,
cringe,
he's
bro. But it's so
to me,
cringe,
dude.
man. It's like,
The Kenny KO videos with him were the best.
yeah.
They were
I
the
do
best.
miss
'Cause
those
he would
days.
just troll him so hard all the time, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit. I actually
Yeah, we
miss
were
those
talking about
days
it.
because it was so entertaining for me because he's
Yeah.
such a weird, unique character that I never knew how he was going to be in person. Versus, like, usually I feel like when you know someone, you can kind of gauge how they're going to be or how the interaction's going to go. With him, I had no fucking clue every time. I was like, he's either going to hate me, maybe try and fight me. He might be friendly with me. He might rip his shirt off in front of me. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen. And it was always like a little bit of a curveball.
But we were talking with him, like the weights he lifted as somebody who goes to the gym, you should know that's fake weight.
Yeah, he does.
You-
He is strong as fuck, though.
I know, but he has like some bench presses with 7 plates. The bar should bend. Why is the bar not bending? How do you have 7 plates on it and the bar is still
Such a
straight?
weird thing, yeah.
But
No,
people
because
people
you
are
literally
naive.
just said it. He was a strong dude. He didn't have to do the fake weight thing because he was still
Yeah.
an impressive
Still
lifter.
so strong, dude.
And he had a great physique, you know.
I
But
think-
he didn't have to claim to be natural. He didn't have to claim to
Yeah.
be breaking all these world records. But then again, just jumps back to kind of those starting times of social media. Of I guess he was trying to probably stand out or be
Yeah.
different than everyone else,
The
even though he
greatest
was
clip
already
ever
impressive.
Was I don't know if you've seen this, where Kenny is old school Kenny KO stuff. And they talked about on Cutler's podcast when he called out that girl.
Oh
who
yeah,
had all the weights on
and
there,
that the
and
shit
she
fell
got
over
smashed
and
by it, bro.
smashed.
I remember watching that before I ever knew Kenny at all, and watching that, and me and Gavin watched that. It was so fucking funny
Yeah.
because she just got fucked up, and every time she got fucked up, me and Gavin were turning to each other, just dying laughing.
Yeah, I
because it
love
was
that.
so hardcore. Not that
Yeah.
because we wanted her to get hurt. But it was just so crazy, and now like Kenny's just there, like watching her, making her do it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like, you
remember
even-
watching that, worried that she was gonna get hurt. I was like,
Yeah, dude.
And
I thought
you
she was gonna
even
snap a leg or something. Like, fuck, I hope I'm
That's
not
the-
liable.
you
for
even
this
don't
in
know
some
if
way.
you should feel bad for her because it's a little bit even feel bad for her in that video because she's like
Right.
she's trying hard, but she knows it's not possible, but she's still trying.
And that's
So
like
it-
what we were saying too, is what a lot of people don't realize is what you see on social media is so scripted now, like even more than it was, where
Yeah.
you know certain reactions, people think that you're not going to know each other, but they'll hire these people to give the craziest reaction possible because they want the most viral content. You have to make it as crazy and exciting possible. So a lot of it's not real; it's all fabricated. And
Yeah,
people
like
don't
those-
realize that.
You see sometimes those clips where somebody on the street is playing piano.
For
or,
instance, Two Turn, who you were just talking about. That guy definitely scripted video every time, like his
Really?
mom and dad's reaction, 100%.
Really?
Still entertaining. Like
See,
I'll
I
still
didn't
watch
know
it.
that.
It's still entertaining.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's so much
guarantee that's
scripted.
scripted, 100%.
No shit.
I will say that 100%.
Even the shark attacks and everything.
Everything's scripted,
Really?
guaranteed. Yep. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some stuff that maybe like might happen while he's out filming.
Sure.
Some crazy reaction, but like every time his mom's getting pissed off and cussing him out, this type of stuff, I already guarantee he's giving her a script or like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I need you to give some crazy reaction because it's what's gonna get the most views.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also those clips like where on the street somebody plays an instrument, and then suddenly somebody from the spectator comes and sings, and she has an amazing voice.
Yeah.
And you
Same type
knew
of
because
thing.
there's 5 cameras set on her randomly, and then she starts singing the best voice in the world. I'm like, this is all planned,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
people don't understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything now on social media, I swear, is scripted. Pranks.
The most cringe is when like they have it set up to where, like these online fitness coaches have someone like interview me. Hey, aren't you that one guy? And he's like, yeah, dude. And it's like, bro, it's so cringy. It's like, bro, we know you just scripted that, you fucking loser.
For
The
sure,
online
bro.
fitness coaches are the worst with that, bro.
But those are the videos that can go the most viral, is the ones that you can't tell are scripted,
Yeah.
but are scripted.
How about that
For
one
instance,
guy?
Two Turn, like how you didn't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, I
If you
could tell
can make
him.
it actually believable and they're good actors and whatnot, and make it seem as if it's actually playing out in that moment, you have a golden viral video.
Yeah.
Versus the other ones that you can tell they have horrible acting and whatnot.
So
Then it's just
bad.
cringe.
It's so bad.
you
It's
know?
super cringe. Like that one guy goes, I'm looking for 5 guys who make over 250K.
Yeah.
You remember that? Do you see that? Do you remember that guy? I was
Probably.
like, fuck this guy, dude. I just made me hate him so much, dude. And he was the same guy who'd have people like walk up, aren't you that one guy that trains that? He was like, yeah, I am.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, when I came to the US, I was in a TV reality show. They filmed me coming to the US, and I learned how much is scripted because everything was scripted. No matter what we were doing in that day, we were acting that randomly happens, but it wasn't.
Right.
Like they're scripted, like literally 2 weeks of filming what randomly gonna happen.
Because it is what, reality TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
So everything
I
was
always knew
scripted.
that was scripted too.
Everything was scripted, like
yeah,
to the
it
last
broke my
thought.
heart to find out the Hills was scripted. I love that show. It broke my heart.
But it's like, all right, you kind of have to, because otherwise
Or
it'd
else
be
it's
boring.
as
It'd
fuck,
be boring.
Right? Yeah, it'll be boring as
You know,
fuck.
if people were just
Jersey
seeing
Shore?
actual interactions happen, it's gonna be boring. First, okay, for instance, this podcast, if it was us just doing what we're doing, versus if we were all at each other's throat, just like we knew what we're gonna say,
Yeah.
and like, yo, you're gonna get really pissed at me saying this, and we make this crazy interaction.
yeah, probably go more viral.
it would go
for
It
sure.
would
super
viral,
viral,
yeah.
you know, and that's just the way social media is.
Jersey Shore. You guys think it's how much of Jersey Shore is scripted? You think?
Like that as well, definitely
Yeah.
scripted.
I know,
there's
but
there's elements of it that are
Yeah.
probably legit because they're Jersey people,
yeah.
but you know, definitely, I would
I
say a
love
lot
to
of
watch
it's
that.
scripted for
You
sure.
ever watch Jersey
Yeah,
Shore?
for sure. That was a classic, dude.
That was
That's
the classic like
we had Vinny
GTL
and
back
we
in
had
the
Vinny
day,
come
you
in
know?
from Jersey Shore and worked out here for a while.
Yeah?
He was in here. Yeah, it was pretty true.
I feel like Pauly D's probably out here all the time,
Yeah,
right? I
because
imagine
he
he probably
has
has
a
residency
residency.
or something.
yeah, I've
I would
seen
think.
Ronnie at Lifetime before.
Okay.
Just
You
walk
need to
around.
bring Paulie D, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know how to get.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean,
Yeah,
he
they're
has a
interesting.
residency here. We should figure it out. If somebody watches
Then you
who
could
knows
ask
him,
him if it's scripted. He probably won't even be able to answer. Everybody's
Yeah.
under some contract or
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
says they can't say whether it's scripted or
but it's
not.
funny. But everything is scripted in TV. It's crazy.
For sure. I'm surprised actually more people don't know that now at this point.
Yeah.
You know, especially
They
with the
don't
way-
want to know.
There's so much content out nowadays. It's hard to stand out. So obviously you have to make these crazy reactions or things that are different.
I think also people don't want to know because
Mm-hmm.
then it loses the excitement.
Right.
If you know
yeah.
something is scripted, like for instance, also those storage wars, they're all scripted. When I told that to my mother-in-law, she's like, "No, they are not scripted." I'm like, "They are scripted.
Yeah.
They are all scripted." Like the guy buys a
Earth-
storage.
earth-shattering.
Yeah, he
You
buys a
ruined her
storage
day.
for $200. There is a $20,000 ring in a cap. Like that doesn't happen. It's scripted. But then when you know it's scripted, then it's not fun.
True.
I'm watching somebody buy it and it's scripted. It's not fun.
Like
So
I
you
always
don't wanna
wish my
know it.
mom was down for, or family members, girlfriends, or someone to not care about public perception of them, just to give those crazy reactions.
Yeah.
Because it does go insanely viral. You know, it does
We-
so well.
We could hire somebody who looks like your mom.
True.
Pay her.
Just
No,
start
but
like a
I
new-
don't know your mom. Like
Right.
you could make it.
We have you be my. You want to be my mom?
I
my
can be your
or
dad.
something? Yeah. There we-
But that's the thing. That's what's good about Kenny though, and that's why people fuck with him, is because like he doesn't do shit like that. And I
right.
feel like you
yeah.
have those people that you trust will never do that. Like Rogan, everyone loves him because they know he's authentic as fuck.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's why Sam Solik actually blew up so
Fuck
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
over
he's
the
so
last
nice,
few years.
dude. I met him twice. He's such a nice, humble guy.
Because it's as if you're just like there hanging out with him. You know, it's a
Yeah.
very like authentic, humble type of character.
He's
where
such a
what
nice
you see
guy.
on camera is what you get.
yeah,
Well, I don't think he does anything extra for the camera. I think he was drinking chocolate milk. And some people like, oh, he does that to be viral. No, I think he just likes chocolate milk.
I mean, I do that every day. I love chocolate
Yeah.
milk. Yeah.
Like, but everybody thought he's like scripting that. That's just him
hmm
eating donuts and whatever. But
Which I feel like is the better way too, and it's more sustainable because he doesn't have to try so
Yeah,
hard
you
to
don't
be
need to
something
try.
he's not. He's
Yeah.
literally just himself, and people gravitate to that because it's authentic.
yeah,
So
That's
if
what-
anything, he actually has the best, I think, possible scenario like going
Oh,
for
yeah.
him because he's not a character or something he has to maintain. That's
I-
not him.
I don't even want to know how much money he does with this channel.
Oh,
at some
insane.
point,
talking to me.
at some
Insane.
point, he was doing videos every second day.
I
and-
mean, just YouTube, he's probably making millions every month.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good person.
And that's just YouTube
Yeah.
revenue. I can't imagine like sponsors, other things coming in.
I
too.
think that's why he doesn't have his sponsor anymore. He left Hostile for I don't know for
he
what
probably
reason.
he outgrew it.
Yeah,
probably,
he has whole
you
gym
know?
sponsored by Arsenal. They took
Mm.
his
Yeah,
entire.
I
Gym.
mean they do that often.
Yeah, they do that often.
Which is smart marketing by them too,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's just like how but just be. I don't know. My thing was, and I feel like that's what Bumstead says. Like, why would you want a gym with just one?
That's what I'm
thing?
saying.
That's the problem.
I don't want
Mm.
to shit on anybody, but I just also don't like Arsenal equipment. There's
Yeah.
just way better equipment.
I agree.
There's
There's some pieces I
like
enjoy,
I like their
but
lateral raises a lot. I
Mhm.
like some of their stuff. I think some
but
of
their
their stuff's
back
pretty good.
equipments are so heavy and
Yeah.
it hurts my joints. I don't know
Mhm.
why.
like, what's your favorite piece?
I like the lateral raise a lot. I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
think their fly is really solid too. It's like you expect it to be heavy because that's
The-
the thing. Is like it was,
The
it was a-
incline one.
yeah, it was a branch off Nebula. So like the Nebula stuff I liked even more, but it was really fucking heavy. It was dope. A lot of the bodybuilders liked it, but a lot of the women I feel like didn't like it as much.
Mm.
I like their hip thrust. I think their hip thrust is dope. I think their lateral raise is really cool. We got their a couple of their stuff for the Henderson gym.
Okay.
I mean
Couple
the lateral raise.
Wait, when's that one opening, by the way?
End of June. Well, so it'll be done end of June, but we're gonna open it to like people like you and Conan if you want to come July, and then open it to the public probably August.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
gonna be sick, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks
so-
like it's coming together dope.
yeah,
yeah, I'm excited, bro.
I like gyms with more equipment, like different companies,
Mhm.
Yeah, fuck
because
yeah.
that's why he is an influencer, and Chris Bumstead is not. Like he said, I'd rather get a free gym. I don't
Right.
care if I like all machines.
Then pick everything
Yeah,
you want.
I would be not. I would literally say I want to choose.
Yeah, that's what's fun about doing these ones. That you get
Yeah.
to choose like the fun stuff, right? The stuff that bodybuilders appreciate. I always ask Andy. I feel like Andy is like
Andy,
the best
yeah.
judge of like equipment too. He gets like a
Mhm.
Yeah, me and him, like when we see a machine, we are like, it's like I'm like a child. Like I see that hamstring curl from the
Yeah.
north location. Every time I see that hamstring curl, the standing one, I'm like to Gavin. I'm like, we need to steal it.
What the side bets?
Yeah, I'm like, I need this.
Oh,
in
we had that coming to Henderson.
I'm like, I need that in Hacienda location.
Yeah, I like that one too. I like all the
Every
old school
time
stuff.
every
Just
time I
randomly
tell
gone
him,
one time.
yeah, I want to steal that, or the back machine. That's amazing too. The Cybex.
Oh yeah,
Well,
There's actually some really good pieces up at the North location.
Yeah, it was a little hidden gem. But
Yeah,
most
it's
people are
getting
finding out about
better
it.
and
Conan's,
better.
Conan's helping us. Well, you came down there and shot the Natty or Not, which is awesome. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
For the
getting
fucking
better
New
and
York
better.
Times.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing Regan out
Yeah.
there, so it's getting. I love that. It's getting that bodybuilder culture there now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
No, it's
so
coming together nice, especially compared to the first time I was in there.
Yeah,
When you guys first kind of opened it up.
Yeah,
up
it's hard to
there.
take because we took over another gym. It was tough.
Yeah.
'Cause that gym was such a shithole when we took it over.
No,
bro.
you guys have definitely.
Yeah,
I always
they've been-
imagine. Does everyone come from like In and Out, or do people go to In and
No,
Out right
I
after?
They
wish.
go
I
to
In-N-Out.
I'm
In-N-Out.
tempted every time I'm
Yeah,
there.
dude, I
the only
would,
thing that
dude.
deters me is that fucking line is
Yeah, the
insane
line's
every
gnarly.
time.
It takes a while for sure. You got Chipotle up there too. You got Mackay
Are you
next door.
jerking off there too?
Huh? Yeah, not jerking off there not anymore, bro. I'm running shit like I used to, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at,
Right
like,
next door.
Yeah.
But they made it really nice. Now they build like a
I go
wall
in there to
bit.
jerk off. They're like, "What the fuck is that guy's deal?"
Right. Don't worry about him. It's just Ryan. He's here.
They built now a wall. They needed to build it for the fire hazard, but it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now one side of the gym has like an old school vibe, and the left side more like a personal training and normal vibe.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a hardcore room
yeah.
almost. Yeah.
So which gym do you like the most of the ones that even with the one that's opening?
Well, the Henderson one's gonna be the nicest.
Yeah.
I like the OG one because it's got all the history, right? Where Jay and them shot this
Yeah.
stuff. The Northwest one I like because we're like the stoner gym, right? Me,
Yeah.
Anton, and Rich are all chill.
Right.
It's more chill there.
We are on other drugs here.
Yeah, yeah. I like them all. It's hard to say, dude. I like them for different vibes. Dude,
Okay.
this one will pop off sometimes, like on a Saturday, like insane though. Like
Yeah.
it's just like hard to beat that. You know, you got
Uh-huh.
like gorgeous women everywhere and fucking jack. People at this one, I feel like they're all so good looking.
That's not a good thing. I
It's
was
not a
talking.
good thing?
I was
Not a
talking.
good thing? I
I
want
was
that.
talking to
too
Regan.
too distracting.
Yeah,
or-
I was talking to Regan. I'm like, sometimes I wish I would be in a gym like in Kuwait where no women are in
Fuck
there.
that.
No,
Fuck
not
that, bro.
always.
I,
but
I kind of like it. It's more motivating.
I love
Yeah,
having
but
the chicks in
sometimes-
there. It's like a party.
You'll
But
have a normal
sometimes you
hour
wanna
workout that you turn into a 2-hour because like some baddie
Dude, you
walked in,
sound
and then
super
you have to
gay right
start
now,
your
Cody.
workout.
I know,
You sound so gay right
that's
now.
my body, but that's my body.
There's been times where I'm walking out of the gym and then like your gym crush will walk in, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I guess I gotta start my workout again.
Yeah.
But that's
Just
why
restart.
that's why I can't train at the Flamingo location at LVSC.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
But
makes
it-
sense.
When you walk in that gym, like there's no way you work out. There's just like you'll just look around, you do
True.
a set and sit around and
Yeah.
work. I mean, it's nice, but I like having like also a good workout.
Yeah. No, I get it. The
Mhm.
chicks push me to work harder.
Mhm.
Straight up.
Better workouts.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. What
Now
kind
I
of-
know
you gotta
why-
perform your best. You
Yeah.
know,
You're a
you'll,
traditional
you'll
old
hit
school
PRs
bodybuilder.
because you're like, damn, I gotta impress
Yeah.
her. Real
I
quick.
am. That's like I'm a person. I like to sit after my workout and then watch. I grew up with watching Ronnie Coleman and
Oh,
Jay
yeah.
Cutler.
Mhm.
I like to train, and like for instance, I think like also accidents happen because you don't concentrate.
Yeah.
You know, like looking around but it sounds a little bit gay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's all right.
I'm
It's
sorry.
all right.
I'm sorry.
He's
It
a
sounds
traditional
gay.
bodybuilder. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
But he has right. There's this gym has men and women, really good looking people.
True.
Like very in like when
Not
you
to
go
say
from
it's probably the #1 spot in Vegas.
oh
for,
definitely,
like,
Well,
bro.
I appreciate it.
No, I look
just because you have like a lot of the industry people, a lot of fitness related people that are competitors, just people that are like heavily involved into fitness, good looking people.
yeah. Like the thing is, when people ask me always like, why there's so many gyms? Why you go always to Fit Club? I drive 40 minutes to come here.
Do you?
I live all the way in the north. I drive every day 40 minutes. The reason is, it is the vibe. You walk in here, I don't feel I'm working. It's more like I'm having fun.
Yeah.
The lights, the people,
True.
like it feels like you're in a club and you're just doing a workout.
Yeah.
When
That's
I
exactly what I
walk
was going
when
for
I
too,
walk
so
into
it's-
when I walk into a hardcore gym, I feel like I'm working. Like,
Right.
but I'm retired. I'm not working anymore. Like I want to look good, but also have fun. That's why, and they have so many equipment that are picked. You know, like Body Masters, Cybex, Nautilus.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk through this gym, every equipment, every machine is amazing.
Yeah, we took a hit with that too because some people said like we're like, oh, you got old shit. Like we were like skimping.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, this piece
is the
costs more
best.
than your new shit. I assure you, because some of the stuff
Uh-huh.
does cost
Oh,
a lot, bro,
definitely.
you know what I mean?
But that
Right.
Cybex leg press costs probably 10K.
Yeah, it's because it's better than I
It's-
would rather have that than a new piece. I don't
Of
care what
course.
brand. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah,
I think that only the people that are involved in the business side of it or that have used those pieces of equipment would even know that.
yeah,
you
that's the
know?
thing. We're
Yeah.
appealing to that market because I feel like they dictate the trends anyway. Like the bodybuilders, the fucking influencers.
Right.
So are you a serious lifter? or are you more like
I used to be more, I would say, when I was competing, doing that type of stuff. Now I'm just so busy, it's hard to be super hardcore about it. Like I haven't counted a calorie since 2019.
wow?
Yeah, my diet is just kind of whatever I want. But you know too, with time, you know when you're overeating,
Yeah.
undereating, like kind of where your threshold's at. So now it's kind of just become a routine type of thing. But I'm not competing, so I don't really have a goal I'm working towards with it. And I think once you kind of lose that aspect, it's a lot harder
It's
to stay
hard.
consistent or like push yourself to that extent. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
How are your
First, because
workouts?
I've always been competitive, so like when I was competing, it was like, fuck, I really gotta go hard here. I can't cheat on my diet here. I gotta make sure I'm doing this right, that right.
Yeah, it's a
Now, you know, there's no repercussions for, oh, if I miss this workout, so be it. You know.
But are you a person when you go to the gym, you actually work out or also be on the phone and do like business stuff? Is that like a therapy for you, or is it more like I do it because I want to look good? And
I think now at this point, I do it more for a maintenance type of phase. You know, just look like you work out, be fit. Also the health aspect too. I am kind of like on a health arc right now where I'm trying to fix a lot of the shit that I fucked up, you know, over the years with all the heavy drug use and whatnot. And also kind of helps level it out. I think if I
Yeah.
was super obese, not working out while also doing heavy amounts of drugs, I'd probably already be dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I want to
So,
talk about
it kind
that.
of helps balance it back out to where you're in a good threshold.
I want to talk about that experiment you guys had with Tony Huge.
Oh, that was one of the worst times I've ever
That's
felt.
I want to talk. How was that, man? How much did you gain in?
Oh, the getting big protocol.
Yeah, like where
Yeah,
you
I
were
remember that. That
the
was when
mass
Tony was making the
blast is what he
sickest
called
content,
it.
bro.
How much did you it was a crazy blast.
I mean, so the thing that I wasn't really aware of at that time is obviously the muscle is primarily water, right? So when we did the initial scans and whatnot, we were super depleted off of a fast. Some of them had been multiple day fasts and whatnot. So the data then versus us taking a shit ton of GH, eating as much food possible, taking a bunch of compounds. Obviously, we like refilled all the
Yeah.
glycogen and everything back into the muscle. So the stats read as muscle, but it's really just a lot
No,
of water
yeah.
weight, you know? So saying that we gained, 15, 20 pounds of muscle isn't realistic at all. It's
No,
like,
but how was it?
maybe if we did, maybe like
I
a
miss that
pound
content so
or
much,
something
bro.
like
You,
that.
when you guys,
Yeah.
But I
That was
felt
my
horrible,
favorite.
bro. We were doing 20 IUs of GH, right?
Uh-huh.
So fucking insane amount while also running like a mix. I don't even remember all the compounds because Tony was just injecting me with whatever the fuck he wanted.
That's what I was
It was-
wondering, man.
It was like we'd have D-ball, we were taking tests, we were doing like some SARMs, some growth hormone secretagogues, of course, yeah, GH, other peptides. Also getting insanely high. It was the first time I ever got a THC hangover because I was so fucking blasted with Tony.
Wow.
But I'd lay down at night, and just because the GH, I got like pedal edema. My feet were all swollen
yeah.
with water. I could actually feel my heart like
remember you talking
struggling to
about
pump
that.
all the fluid through. And that was where I realized, like, if this is what the top bodybuilders are doing, I
No.
can't do this.
They
There's
don't
no
do
way.
that.
Yeah, no, I know they don't go that
Yeah.
hard. But that's kind of like the perception I was under at that time, is because that's what Tony and them,
They
you
got
know, were
sick
kind
genetics and
of
they take
saying.
like a little, right?
Yeah.
So I just perceived that, nah, this isn't for me. There's no way.
How
I
many
could
days was
feel
that?
like this.
The experiment.
And you can even see in my face too in the documentary at that
Bloated?
time. I was so fucking bloated, dude, all over.
How many days was that? The
It was
experiment?
a week for me. I think they've done other ones though, where it was like maybe a couple weeks, even shorter ones, like half a week. He kind of wanted to experiment as
Your
much as he
sleep
could to
probably was
see how
bad
much-
too,
Yeah, because I mean,
from all the
just, like,
water.
yeah, the water retention was insane. It was just so fucking
Well,
much. It was
I-
uncomfortable as hell.
I took 12 units, my max, and that's already you can barely open and close your hands. Imagine 20 units.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get like there's so much water and stuff.
Yeah.
You have like
I could like
water
feel
on
it in my
your.
feet. I couldn't even like fit my
Yeah.
shoes on
It's
because I had
crazy.
to like completely retie my shoes to be able to like get them on my feet just because how swollen they were. It just was not for me.
Let's do an experiment.
Yeah, watch Tony. He'd be down to do a mass blast on you for sure. If you ever brought it up, Tony
yeah.
would be down. He
I'm
loves
down.
to
I'll
do
just
his
show him
little
that Cutler clip
experiments.
from today and be like, "Yo, bro, let's
Yeah.
try it out."
I'm down.
You would
I-
definitely be down for it, 100%. Tony likes to
I
do the
know.
craziest shit.
I like to do crazy shit too.
I'd be so scared though. I'm way too like scared. I get like nervous doing any of that shit. I don't take much of anything when anytime. Never taken a lot.
And I mean, the only reason I really even agree to it is just because I know Tony so well, and
He's
I
very
trust
safe.
him.
Yeah, you
and
gotta trust. It's the thing.
he's
you
so
trust Tony.
knowledgeable about everything that if anything was to go wrong,
help
he
you.
knows exactly what to do to counteract that or
Yeah.
alleviate that problem.
Yeah,
so
he'd
that
be a
was
good
the
person.
main reason
Yeah,
I did
no,
it.
for
If it was
sure.
anyone else, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, no,
No shot.
I'd be tempted to do it just because Tony's so knowledgeable and
Right.
he's very like he knows.
Yeah, and I like to try stuff.
And
you
it
know,
was
life
some
is
good
too
memories.
short.
Like we had some funny ass stories. I
Oh,
just remember
bro,
being
I can
so high with
imagine.
Tony as he's like pinning my ass with like all the different drugs and all this stuff, and then we're just laughing our ass off about fucking all the shit that's happening
He's
as
the
we're
best,
just
dude. Tony's
insanely
the
high.
best.
It was such a good time.
That's crazy.
Aside for the way I feel, you know.
Yeah.
What's the funniest story you have with him?
Oh shit! I mean, luckily I haven't been out to Thailand yet with him because I already know that'd
Oh,
be
that
probably
would
the
be-
craziest stories. Actually, being in his stomping grounds in Thailand would be a wild fucking time. But until that happens, probably in Sacramento, yeah, that series because Russo was out there. It was a house. It was the OG crew too. It was Trevor,
Yeah.
a bunch of the initial crew of people. The only ones talking openly about anabolics and cycles and doing
right.
mass blasts and that type of stuff. So being in that culture, it was just such a fun fucking time.
What do you guys think? Who was the first talking about steroids? Rich Piano or
Richard
like,
Boston, Boston
Oh,
Lloyd.
Boston Lloyd. Yeah, true.
I think it either had to be him or Rich.
Yeah.
They were definitely at least some of the more prominent, bigger names, that were creating that content. I'm sure there might have been maybe someone else that maybe didn't get a huge traction or grow that much. That might have been before them, but
Rich was a character, man.
He was.
I wish he was still around because
Yeah.
his content, although
And he
maybe
was
him passing
real.
away made him the legend he is.
yeah,
You know,
that helps.
because if he would have still been around,
He
maybe
would've gotten
his
relevant.
perception, maybe he would have changed as a person. People would have fell out of love with him. Him kind of passing away in his prime was almost maybe a blessing,
He's like a
for a lot of the
legend now
icons
forever.
that are out
Yeah.
there, you know?
But he was such a cool, like he was real, Like no matter, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot we didn't know.
Yeah,
you know?
but he was real, like with
For sure.
With
with
the
the
compounds.
and with this,
Yeah,
yeah, with
with
that
the
kind of
compounds
stuff,
was real.
There's a lot behind closed doors, for sure.
Like,
Which a lot of people are obviously more aware of now. you
yeah,
know?
I mean, obviously he was doing probably so much other drugs and stuff, but he was still like.
But he did kind of start that wave.
You know something you want to share?
No.
You know, come on, you can share.
Lips are sealed.
Yeah.
He was at least one of the guys though that started the wave for being more like transparent about the gear
Yeah.
use and spreading knowledge about it and like what his cycles and
It
stuff.
was also
were,
cool that
but-
he always like stayed till the last fan came in expos. Like he was standing there for hours and hours and hours shaking hands.
right.
Like Jay, like there's not a lot of famous people
Sure.
who do that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't think a lot of people realize too that a lot of bodybuilders dabble into the other recreational stuff too.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Because usually like pain management, or if you're an influencer, like you gotta do long hours and whatnot, be able to cope with everything that's going on, especially psychologically too.
I mean, like as we said, I think certain things we should talk more. Like, why is even like weed? Weed became something so normal. I see way more people fucked up from weed. Fucked up, not in a way health wise, but they can't even function without it. They are like high. They don't work. They're getting lazy. Like there's people like they function well with weed. Like you smoke weed, but you are productive. As you work like
Yeah,
10,
you
12 hours
function
a
very
day.
well.
Yeah.
You
for
work
sure.
like an animal. But I know friends, they're smoking and you can't use them for anything.
Yeah. I guess.
Like-
yeah. Weed gets me all amped up and like creative, and I love it. I don't like have that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you go too far, then you're like borderline retarded.
Yeah.
Like
For
when I'm
sure.
count my clients' reps, I forget their count all the time.
Dude, I was wondering
There's
about
one
that
drawback.
because that's how it is for my workouts. Whenever
Yeah.
I'd be blasted high, which
Yeah,
is the
I
best feeling in
always
the
forget
world
the
while you're working
reps.
out, listening to music. But I'd be like, "Fuck, what rep was I
Yeah.
on?"
Bad.
Yeah.
Especially with
But yeah.
ADHD, that plus smoking, it was just a
Oh, yeah.
dangerous combo. Like you're never gonna remember what rep you're on.
Yeah. Never.
But you're actually functioning. So, but there's a lot of people who don't. The weed. I think when you make weed legal, then you should also do other like other kind of drugs legal. Like for instance, MDMA helps a lot with psychology. Like for instance, my wife, like she healed from a lot of trauma from her childhood.
Yep.
From being just high on MDMA, where you don't have the shame anymore. You can talk about certain things,
Right.
I think it needs to at some point come to that point, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
I mean, I know it's got to be getting close to like shrooms and stuff being kind of the next legalized thing. I would imagine.
Yeah, that'll be
Maybe.
next for sure.
But shrooms you can get
That's
also
the next
really
one, I
fucked
guess.
up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw
But
really.
I think if you make things legal, it'd be not only safer for people.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
It's like you're getting something reputable, but then the government also has to look at it as a huge profit margin.
They would
like,
make
think how
so
much
much
money you would
money.
make if you were just selling like MDMA.
You would make so
or,
much
like,
money.
even if it's just small amounts, like enough
Yeah.
to microdose or something. People would definitely.
They
do
would
that.
make so much money.
Imagine like in a few years we have some dispensaries that are just like, hey, come get your Molly.
Yeah, that'd be
Come get
wild,
your-
dude.
Imagine you can try it. Like, can I have a bump?
Yo, this Molly will give you this effect, and then we have this new strain that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, what's the craziest drug you've ever done?
We we talked about this in the last one.
You
Is
can
this
say
what-
it.
Is this what
Did
you
you?
edited
This
out?
no, I'm not
Did you
editing
edit it-
this.
But did you edit
No.
it out last time?
Yes, I
You
did.
did?
Yeah, so this time
Alright.
I'm not editing it.
So I went to the store at the smoke shop and they had legal cocaine, and I tried that.
Interesting.
It was called legal cocaine. I was
I
actually
didn't
afraid.
know that.
I was afraid to do the real cocaine. I didn't because it was illegal. I was afraid. I thought it fucked me up. So I was like, oh, this must be legal. It's sold at a smoke shop. I trust it. Naive as fuck. Well, I had the time of my life that night, and then the worst come down of my life ever.
I
For
bet.
2 days, I didn't sleep. Come to find out, like about a year and a half later, that was bath salts.
Oh, I see. I've done bath salts.
I never
Crazy ass
did.
time. Oh, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Interesting.
How
yeah.
is
That's
it?
definitely it.
Huh?
How is it? I never did bath salt.
Crazy. Like,
the
do you
worst
remember the
come down in your life.
stories? For instance, there was homeless people that were eating other
Yeah, I
people
heard that.
in
I
Florida.
never got that. I feel like I was
you
on
know?
ecstasy or something.
It was definitely a crazy ass drug. That and then salvia. Did you ever try
No,
salvia
I
when
heard that
that
was
was at the
wild.
smoke shops
I heard
too?
that was
Like
wild.
that was the craziest drug I've ever
Yeah.
taken. Salvia was a fucking mind blowing experience, especially because it's so short, but it felt like
Forever.
an eternity.
Yeah.
You know.
So how does
one-
that feel? The
bath salts?
Yeah.
It was just like a crazy. It's its own type of feel. Like I'm trying to think what other drugs I've tried that would be similar. Maybe like a combination almost of like an acid with a weed high. Maybe. It's just like its
I felt
own.
like I
It's
was on
its own
ecstasy.
type of thing. It's like
How long does it hold?
12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long time.
That's
And you
a
could just buy it at a
commitment.
smoke shop back in the day.
Still? Oh no.
No, I don't
now-
know
I'm telling
about
you, so many people
still.
called. I called and I was scared shitless. I was like, what the
Wow.
fuck is this? I can't sleep.
It's like we don't even know.
And they were like, they
We
were
just
like,
got
hang up. It was at Jungle Zone. Do you remember Jungle Zone out here? Have you heard of that place?
This was probably before I was out here
Okay,
because
yeah,
I
this
came
place
in
called Jungle Zone.
2019.
Yeah, it was like the biggest smoke shop. So like, if there was a reputable one, it was like the biggest one. So like, I thought it'd be safe, but no.
What's your
That's funny that you tried that
Yeah.
though.
Oh, dude.
I kind of missed the days though too with the old pre-workouts. This was around that
Oh,
same
yeah.
time frame, jacked and went up before it was all regulated. You could
yeah.
have amphetamines and stuff in pre-workouts.
Jack was
and
so crazy, man.
GHB would be sold at GNC.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, as a sleep aid.
Oh man, they got rid of all the good shit.
Dude, we
Yeah,
used to
that-
have we all took it for granted. We had the best shit
Ephedrine
available.
back then?
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
ephedrine. Yeah. Man, that's Jack was just crazy, man.
Now it doesn't work. Now most of the
Right.
shit doesn't work. I feel like.
Because it's so regulated
Yeah.
now. You
Yeah.
know? We had like the prime time for everything.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Yeah, I'm 37. How old are you?
38. Just turned 30.
Yeah, we are in the same. Yeah, that's what that. I was literally jacked 3D and no explode. I was
love
using
NO
so
Explode, that's
much
my favorite.
pre-workout, like I was training for 4 or 5 hours. Like I didn't want to leave the gym.
Yeah.
And then you go home, you have a crush.
Yeah.
Like like after like Molly or
Well, after the
ecstasy.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
After
literally like
the
a molly.
Jack.
Yeah.
There was one called 1MR too, which was gnarly.
Yes,
That
I
1MR was
know.
intense, dude.
Craze. I
Or there
remember
was a fat
wild
burner.
one. Yeah.
There was another fat burner, also very lipo something, like really heavy, like that has ephedrine in it. That stuff from Jack, like it's
It's just
crazy.
funny to think about that type of stuff was sold at, of all places, to GNC.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
so
like the
crazy,
most
bro.
commercial supplement shops
yeah.
had just the craziest shit on its shelves.
Yeah, now they have dogs. Well, GNC's out of business right now, right? Aren't they?
I could
No.
imagine.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
they
they're on the
probably
verge.
have been going out of business since they
Yeah, I mean,
banned
yeah.
all those types of
They're
things.
probably downsizing. There's a couple still left, but I mean, with Amazon and all the online stores, who goes to a supplement store?
Especially at
Yeah, I know,
GNC
right?
too. You know, it's
Yeah,
like you're
GNC
They
just
don't
gonna
even
get
have a lot
trash
of good.
out.
One.
And GNC doesn't even have all the good supplements. I feel
Right.
like Vitamin Shop has more, kinda. And when you're in Vegas, Discount Nutrition is the best.
Right. I agree.
That,
100%.
that's not even a commercial, but if you want, you can
Yeah.
hit us up.
Okay, so that was the craziest. Wait, what was the craziest drug you've taken though?
Something that I didn't know, like it was not the craziest thing, but we were in a strip club, and we were out of coke, and we were dumb enough to ask the stripper, and she gave us straight up meth. So we were snoring meth for 2 days.
Ouch.
See, I've never snorted it. How is it?
Bro,
I've
it's-
taken it accidentally,
Bro,
but
it's like the feeling of like you having
Burning
fun, but you
nose.
are so it burns.
It burns
Like,
like, does it
terrible.
flow? Oh, it just
It,
burns.
ter-
pretty
it
bad?
burns
Terrible.
terrible.
You can gag on it.
Yeah,
after, you
it-
gag on your mucus
it-
from it.
it-
It's so
it-
bad. 'cause your,
it-
your
yeah.
nose gets so fucked up.
But the problem is like we were like I took it, then my friend went, and we were like I think this is meth, but we are like still didn't stop doing it because
That was
Do
a
you
fake-
realize
fake
how great it
Adderall.
was?
Yeah.
That was the reason I actually never did meth again, because I realized how fucking amazing it was.
bro, you
I accidentally took it and I was like, this is the best fucking thing of my
Yeah.
life.
So, but the
You
people
know,
who
didn't
do
sleep for 48 hours.
yeah,
but
and it
then,
makes and the people who do it are the sketchiest people ever. The
Yes.
people who recreationally do it, like you can't
they have no
recreationally
teeth
do
anymore.
for sure.
because like it's so those people are out of their minds, dude. You see the antithesis, the worst of it on the streets. I mean, that's what
Literally
they're on.
Callum, though. I think that's what happened to Callum.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he-
I might be wrong, but
he
do you
jumped
think
out of his
I assume
window.
It had to be meth, right? Like
He jumped out of
legit
his
lost
window.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loss of sleep when you don't sleep, regardless of what drug you're on. You
Yeah,
lose
and it's
your
just like
fucking
you're
mind.
delirious and like lost your mind. It's,
So
it's like another
irrational.
drug on top of a drug. once
Anytime I've made a horrible decision or done anything like bad on Instagram, it was always after partying the
Yeah.
night and
For
not
sure.
sleeping enough and just being irrational. I think that's a smart idea.
that's why you need to buy Xanax. The time you come home, pop 2 Xanax. You sleep for
Oh,
10,
I get
12
so
hours.
scared though, isn't that bad?
No, bro, it's the best.
Yeah.
He's
Because
like, no, bro.
you know why is it the best? I tell you why. You
Chills you out.
you
Sleep.
you sleep over the depressed time.
Yeah. that's
You wake
smart.
up, take another one, sleep like 15 hours. You wake up, you never had a hangover.
Holy shit! There you go. You have a hangover hack.
The recipe for
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
the recovery.
I got to go to the doctor to have anxiety.
I
now.
tell you,
Especially with
Xanax is the
EDC
best.
Are you going to E EDC?
We go to we are going to the
Mike's
Zouk.
party.
Yeah.
No, what?
Whose party?
Zook.
Zouk.
Oh,
There's a Zouk
am
party
I going?
for EDC.
For
Oh, yeah, we
Argy's
talked about
coming.
it.
Argy's coming.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. We said that.
But you get Xanax, man. That's the heck.
That is the best for sure.
Yeah,
for the
you
come
sleep
down.
like a baby and you really wake up no hangover.
You would do 2 though, like 2 bars.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But I won't like last time
I would do like a quarter of a bar.
Yeah.
A single bar.
No, I did.
And that
literally-
was enough to like level me
I
out.
was
to where
like
could
4
sleep.
milligrams.
But then again, I
Oh
wouldn't
my
sleep for
God.
multiple.
Yeah.
Holy
Four-
shit.
Oh my
bro.
God, what? It's
Bro,
4 milligrams.
but that's why.
I
But
take if I ever take a bite of it, I'm like fucked
But you
up.
s-
I'm sleeping. I'm like,
but that's good. You need to take a
I
day
get
off
it.
and
No, I
sleep
get it.
through.
It just
You
seems
sleep through
dangerous.
you sleep through the depression.
You just sleep
just
in.
seems
You
excessive.
sleep
Don't
indefinitely.
listen at home.
It just seems excessive and dangerous.
Don't listen at home.
You just you have that indefinite sleep. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know if you wake up, but if you wake up, it's nice.
If you don't know if you're gonna wake up. Yeah, exactly.
I think the worst thing I did in my life, and my wife still says, I don't know how I'm alive. I was on DMP. I was on prep.
Oof.
I was on DMP, and we went party, and I took ecstasy.
Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
wild.
Bro, I was literally, we were at home like 6, 7 a.m. I'm like, I'm burning. I don't know which one. Is this the ecstasy? Is the DMP? I was like, I stood up. The couch was gray. Where I sat was black.
Ooh,
Just like soaked.
Scary.
Just
with
soaked
sweat.
to water.
Yeah.
oof.
You're wild.
Give
for
me
that.
anxiety. Those
Holy
times, bringing
hell,
back those
bro.
old times. I'm getting anxiety thinking about my old times. I think about that stuff now, partying hard, and it makes
No,
me
I can't do
scared.
that anymore.
Doesn't it make you kind of realize how lucky you are? You know.
Yeah, I'm
That-
lucky.
those
Like,
people
alive.
that aren't that lucky that didn't make it,
Yeah,
you know, and you're
yes,
like,
it
damn.
does.
Kind of like a Steve-O. Every time I see Steve-O, I'm like, how is this dude alive?
How is he alive?
After
Especially when you
hearing
hear
some of
about-
his stories
yeah.
and stuff, you're
How
like,
about the rock stars back in the day, like Motley Crue and shit?
Right.
Like what they've done. It's like,
Bro,
what?
the story with Mike Tyson cracks me every time up. You need to watch on YouTube.
Okay. I'll
He
check it
was
out.
he was in a restroom in a house party with Mike Tyson, and they smoked the 8 ball of coke.
Oh shit. Oh, so like crack?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. You need to watch it. Steve O. Like he has like a show where he tells the funniest stories of his life,
Yeah.
and he tells a story with Mike Tyson.
I'm gonna have to watch that one.
It's
actually.
crazy.
He's an entertaining ass motherfucker.
It's so entertaining.
He'd be such
man.
a fun one to have a conversation with. You
Yeah,
know,
he
you get
would
to hear like even more crazy shit that
Oh
he's
yeah,
done.
for sure.
Yeah, but you see, like we survived, but Kalum didn't. I mean, he messed up his whole career, and
Yeah.
at this point,
I mean, luckily, I think he's still trucking. I haven't seen any posts from him in a little bit. I know fucking. We'll see like what comes of him. I know what's crazy is he was on his road to recovery. And It
Yeah.
actually seemed like he was doing well. Like he picked up a new sponsorship and whatnot, and
Yeah.
then I don't know if it was relapse or what happened, but it looks like he's out in
I mean,
apparently Thailand now. Who
at this
fucking
point,
knows?
like I don't feel I don't want that. I don't wish anybody something bad. I hope he comes back and he's fine. But he had literally the biggest potential. He could be by now. He will be bigger than Chris Bumstead, and I'm very
Yeah.
sure he had he would be bigger than Chris Bumstead if he
Mhm.
would have not fucked it up.
For sure.
genetics
He
is
was
what-
like literally the
Yep.
he
he was
played
on a Gucci
he-
model, bro.
bro,
He
he
was on
pla-
Gucci.
Yeah.
but he played
Crazy.
he played Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie.
Yeah.
No, and he was probably going to get more movie roles. I bet. Like,
Yeah.
let's say he continued
He's
to
a stud.
compete and be, what he was doing.
No
back
gay,
then.
but he's a good-looking guy.
For sure, man. Everybody can admit that. Like one of the best looking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he fucked it up, but that's what, like I said, drugs can do.
Right.
That's why you can't also be in a bad place and do drugs. I think, like this is stuff that people
like as
need
a
to talk
band-aid,
to.
or
Yeah.
like trying to mask pain and whatnot.
Yeah, people
That's where it
should
becomes a
people
problem,
should
for
talk
sure.
about that too. Like that's what I'm saying. We need to give people advice. So if you feel depressed, drugs is the worst.
Yeah, it's not.
You're
the
gonna be
answer.
just more
Yeah,
depressed.
make it more depressing
Yeah,
because you
100%.
can't avoid the fact that you're doing them and you're gonna hate yourself regardless.
And then it becomes a
Yeah.
crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, 100%.
So the things like that, like he probably had already. He was depressed because of his leg and then his
Oh, yeah,
biceps,
and his dog.
and then you do drugs. Like this is a
Yeah.
bad combination. I
Oh,
could have
yeah.
told you that. Like,
Oh yeah.
don't do that.
For sure. I mean, maybe he'll make a comeback. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope so.
We're gonna see it on your feet.
Probably.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find
Once
out.
I
Hopefully,
figure
yeah.
out what the fuck's going on, we'll see.
I see you are doing right now those like reaction videos
Mhm.
to. How is that going? I like the content.
I mean, because it's kind of fun for me. I feel like it's the more genuine. I'm not as crazy as I used to be. The confrontational side.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who Goob is.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I feel like he kind of took the position that I was doing. More
Yeah.
like the Photoshop call outs, people doing some shitty scammy type of
Yeah.
stuff. But then you just make a lot of enemies where it landed me in so many
Yeah.
lawsuits and stuff.
Oh,
where
he probably has so many lawsuits.
I didn't want that kind of like negative attention anymore. So it's more so like I'll call people out still for a lot of the shitty stuff they do, but also I kind of want to have fun like praising
Yeah.
the stuff I enjoy and stuff. So the reaction stuff, it's kind of like I get to watch things that I want to watch and then give a reaction to it. And I know there's other people that probably have an opinion on those topics too. So
but
it's been a nice little like
those videos are
way
pretty
out.
in. Like
Yeah.
in Germany, I follow a couple people. They build a whole career out
sure.
of. They take
Like
a
reaction.
YouTube video and they watch it the first time
They
and
react.
to it.
Yeah,
I mean, no lie, it is kind of like the lazy creators for
Yeah.
content too.
for sure.
Because like you ain't have
But
to
it
create
entertains
content. You're literally
people.
reacting to like a already viral piece of content. It's super fucking easy. So for
Yeah,
the
but
people watching that want to do content, that's
yeah.
the easy way
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank
But
you,
you-
man. Thank you for
No,
coming
no,
to the
no,
podcast.
thanks for having me on.
It was a pleasure. We definitely gonna have you one more time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank
Let's
you.
have
for
like
you.
a controversial one. Get like someone who
Yes.
really dislikes me and have me show up.
Yeah, I
And
would
then we'll
love
see.
that.
Because then that would be viral. Because it'd be so awkward and tense, and then we can just hash it out. you
Yeah.
know?
And
Or
like you
vice
walk
versa.
in like while we start the podcast.
Right.
Yeah, you tell me.
At the best gym. Fit
Thick
Club,
up.
by the way.
Guys, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment.
Yeah, definitely subscribe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Post notifications on. And thank you
Everything.
guys for having me. I appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks for coming.
See you next time.
Hey, and be careful.
Be careful.